Last time on the Platinum Mask. A handful of demoralized soldiers and refugees flee the Battle of Iron Pass and head south in the hopes of rallying with the remnants of the defeated Lord's Alliance armies. Their progress is however slowed by the onset of an early winter, and so our survivors are forced to take refuge in an isolated village called Ells Dale, nestled in the foothills of Mount Hottenel. It is soon discovered that Ells Dale is sick with a rot that poisons the land to the very core, threatening to swallow the realm with its infernal taint and sinister undead agents. As this episode commences, our party endeavor to get to the bottom of things. As Spear and Saya prepare to dine with the devil, August and Co. seek to bring aid to the faithful few who cling desperately to their good health.
We're going to pick it up today with Spear and Saya walking into Ivan's private quarters. So you enter. You see in the room, as mentioned before, a variety of stuffed animal heads on all the walls, various weapons, a few books here and there, a few comfortable armchairs. It is not the biggest room that you've seen, but it has not too many people in the moment, apart from yourselves and Ivan. You see the two merchants and Ivan's son and the head of the Numer family, and they're all greet you in the room. Say, welcome, welcome. You may not have met the rest of my associates. There's Ivan, his overwhelming charisma oozing out of every pore. So, Ivan, he has lost his very pompous hat at the moment, and his long, dark hair with grey ends is just sort of coming down around his shoulders. He's looking very relaxed. He's sort of thrown off his heavy coat for a more comfortable silken gown, and gestures to some plush armchairs of red and green velvet and carved polished mahogany detailing of various scenes of the hunt. Sort of laced the sides and are carved into the recesses of these chairs. Do you guys take a seat?
Yeah.
Among your fellows?
Yes, of course.
The doctor is the only one you see is notably missing from this collective. He says, Come. So, have you met Mr. Avarice and Mr. Wild tonight? They're my merchant friends.
Yes, we met them over dinner.
Excellent. That's very good. They have been staying with us for the last 3 months or so. They've come on the volition of a good friend of mine. He recommended that they come and have a look at the produce of our town. Such fine wines. Would you like some more wine, by the way?
I think I've had enough to drink for the night.
Okay.
Am I getting the sense that it would be rude to reject this offer?
It would certainly be rude to reject something. Give me an insight check.
8.
Yeah, probably should take the wine. He goes, well, if wine is not to your liking, perhaps some spirits. I have an excellent vintage of finest whiskey, if you'd like some of that instead.
Certainly.
A 12-year-old,
I'm
you know.
not familiar with drinking whiskey.
You're not?
No.
Well, we have a night on our hands. I should educate you. I have, in fact, 3 very good whiskeys in my liquor cabinet here around. So, above the burble of conversations going on, you're feeling the oppressive silence of the unicorn's head. Like the unicorn in the room. You're feeling like it's watching you. Like it's looking at you. You get the sense that it's perhaps not fully dead. Both of you can make an Arcana check.
This isn't gonna be
Not
pretty.
very good. Oh no, it is very good. It's very hard to read these dice.
30.
17.
So you know that a unicorn is a magical creature, but you know, Spear, that a unicorn is more than that. It's almost an intangible creature. It's not only adopts a physical form at will. So if it was bound in this form, either this is an amazing replica, or there's some kind of enchantment that is binding it in place.
I'm horrified. And I'm attempting to disguise it.
Okay, deception roll.
Damn it! Why do I say anything?
No, you're gonna play your character.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to sort of shrug it off and just sort of like keep the screaming horror of the night beneath the surface.
Every day.
While we're making casual chit chat,
Yeah.
I see you've hunted many beasts here.
Oh yes, of course. I do love to hunt. It's one of my favorite pastimes. You know, not so much game in the winter, but they do have a fine winter hare, a very light coat, either light grey or white that still gets around. So if you were interested, tomorrow we could go at the crack of dawn and get our hunt on.
I'm always happy for an adventure. I'm always happy to go for a hunt. I'm actually particularly interested. Is that a unicorn you have mounted?
Oh yes, my pride and joy. Now I didn't fell the beast myself, but I was there, and I threw a spear along with my good friend Strachan. He's a great man, Strachan. He's came along, and he was the one leading the hunt and was able to strike it down at the time. We were all very impressed. That thing's been in the forest for nigh on 300 years before he found it.
Wow, very impressive. Has Strachan, how long ago? So that was 6 months ago, did you say?
Oh, no. Probably about 12 months ago. Strachan only came to our town 18 months ago,
And where is Strachan now?
abroad, conducting business, looking into our interests elsewhere.
It was very nice of him to gift you with a trophy of his conquest.
It's only natural that it should stay here. Such things don't like to travel so well. You know, just tire with age, and people, take them for all kinds of things. It's safe here, and it's a good memento. He's a good friend, and has done us a good turn, and we aim to do a good turn to him as well.
Can I just ask how weird it would be for someone to be hunting unicorns? Is this a very bizarre situation to be in, or are there towns in this area where,
Look,
hunting
it's
celestial
monster
beings is
hunters.
fine?
Monster hunters exist everywhere.
Okay.
There's no law saying you can't kill a unicorn. And as with modern day poachers, there are just people who are out to find animals of mystical sorts anywhere. It is, however, very rare in this case to see something like this. But speaking of business, that gets me down to business, in fact. You are soldiers, you're surviving ranking officers of your unit, and you have very important information to deliver back to Neverwinter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, no, that's very true.
Well, we've been building our exports and industries in this town for quite some time, and we believe that along with, I see you've been talking to our doctor, did he perhaps mention a stamina potion that we've been working on?
Yes, he did. He actually, I believe he used it on our commanding officer, if I'm not mistaken.
And you obviously have no complaints about the fact that she's up and about?
No.
It seemed to have worked quite well in that case. Yes.
Yeah, and apparently it's considerably cheaper to make than, it seems
That
like
is
a
true.
real miracle cure in a lot of ways.
Well, it definitely would be our way of contributing to the war effort. It's the least that we can do, really. But as well as that, we have stumbled upon something else. We have believed that we've discovered an old dwarven mine that has yielded no shortage of gold and jewels. we believe that the exports that we have here and raw materials of gold and gems could also be very useful and valuable in facilitating exchanges of produce that we have in our town. And not just the stamina potions, but also of vegetables and wine, all of which are of finest quality, as you've experienced. Do you enjoy the wine at the meal? I saw you partaking in some.
Yes, no, I did. It's lovely. It's delicious.
Very good, yes. Let me show you a sample of our wares. And he reaches behind, he goes to a cupboard on the side and unlocks a door and pulls out a small chest and puts it on the table, slides it across, and he opens it, and you see in it there's probably 500 gold pieces and a selection of gems worth 50 to 300 gold each, rubies, emeralds, diamonds. He goes, please, have a look.
Definitely having a look.
This is remarkable. Where did you find it all?
Well, it all came from the Dwarven Mine.
And where did you locate this dwarven mine?
Well, it's not far from here at all.
Did you... was it just an old mine that you stumbled across?
Well, we found some entrances. We found some old maps and were able to locate its entrance and were able to work it and pull out this valuable mineral resource from its veins. Of course, I don't wish you to take my word for it straight up. You're welcome to take this box and have it for yourselves and use it to show others the value of the quality of the goods that we have to purvey.
That is a very generous offer.
Yes, I'm surprised that you're offering us so much wealth for what in return exactly?
Well, if you would be the people who would represent us in Neverwinter, valiant soldiers fresh from the front, survived the battle and discovered this small town and the wealth that it had to offer, you could be the people who brought our message to the world and in turn aided the war effort. Why, you would probably both see elevation in the ranks in no time. Don't you think that you would benefit from such an arrangement? Don't you think that you would benefit from such an arrangement? Both make wisdom saving throws.
Oh, wisdom saving throws.
Oh no, I failed one.
How are you going to benefit so hard?
I feel like this would be so not Spear's jam there.
23.
I'm going to roll my portent dice as well now in case I decide to foresee something.
We're going to get to you in a moment, so we're all going to break from these guys and just.
I have to be able to see it actually too.
All right, so give me a insight roll.
That would be 23 as well.
Okay, so you're overcome with the fact that this is a great idea. You never thought that this would be such a good idea, but in fact, it is a really great idea. It would help you. If you were in a better position with the nobility, then they would definitely exalt you in the military ranks, and you could do a better job to your fellow soldiers than all the other people did that were previously in charge of you.
It would be very helpful in equipping our forces against the oncoming orcs.
You see a sudden turnaround in Spear's behavior. She switches from being guarded and putting up guarded and aware, repressing the darkness, to suddenly just towing a line. And he's like, yes, Spear, that's I see, glad that you see the sense of it.
Well, it does make sense. You could really do a lot of help with the war effort with these stamina potions and all of this wealth.
Yeah.
And you have been remarkably lucky here. Perhaps if others came here, they too could benefit from the luck you have.
And they could see exactly what it is that we have going on, and yes, we could all
it does
profit
make sense, don't you
greatly
think,
from
Sire?
it.
We could do a lot with this.
Is Aaron in this room?
No, Aaron's not in this room.
Alright. Sorry, you asked me a question and I rudely...
That's okay.
No, well, I think Spear, it makes some sense. I think money only gets you so far, though. Not that it's just money. I think the stamina potions. I think it's all a
Complete package. Absolutely, complete package.
But if you look at the war and where the war is at the moment, only really, I think more than some potions and wealth is really going to make a difference.
But it could make some difference.
But for how long? And this is, and you know, I think it's definitely worthwhile. But I really only think that some sort of
Wisdom saving throw.
Such a naysayer. Nay.
9.
There is you
Slightly
are
more convinced.
yeah you are in your body and you feel like you've just taken a step back from yourself, and you're just watching yourself say all of these things and arguing against Saya about the benefits of this thing, and inside it's like you're trying to scream words. It feels like you're underwater and you scream out and no sound is coming out. And then through this detachment, the sense of the magical presence, the unicorn in the room, comes back and starts pressing hard against your consciousness, and you have this message come into your mind. Yeah, you reach out for the unicorn, and the message comes into your mind, and the message is: find Astrid, finish what she started. Before you hear a horse whinnying in pain, and you snap back to yourself. And you're halfway through this sentence where you're espousing the benefits of such a lucrative trade deal.
Great. If we could take the treasure and... What was he saying?
I think, you know what? I think this is
Another whiskey.
I think this is an incredible venture, but I think it would be great if we maybe go on a hunt tomorrow, have some time to think it over. Take Erin with us. You know, take her, make sure that Erin is in on and all good with it.
Yes. I'm sure Erin is fine. But yes, of course, she should come with us tomorrow. We should go for this hunt. And I don't mean to keep you. Obviously, you're still tired. You've only slept briefly. You must be still recovering from your wounds. But here, look, as a token of my appreciation, perhaps you can just take this box and look after it and think about it. Show it to your friends. See what they have to say.
Kind of arcana or perception check on this box.
Sure.
Which would be better?
Perception?
Huh? Oh, nope. Still whacked out from all this stuff that's been happening.
It's just all this money. You've actually never seen so much money in one place. You're just like sort of spun out. Maybe the alcohol is going to your head. You're looking at her. She's actually looking. She's not talking confidently anymore. She's looking dazed.
We're happy to take the box and at least, we'll happily take that token and show our companions. But we should probably get to bed. It's been huge, you know.
This whiskey stuff, it's a bit interesting.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Oh, of course.
You're such a lightweight. All right, we should really get to bed.
What does lightweight mean?
So, meanwhile,
I'm on 3.
I'm going to attempt to put Auntie back to bed
okay.
with my arms of restraining, and just like whoa.
Okay, so you're gonna grapple her.
For want of a better word, I will just put her back to bed. That is my attempt. Hopefully,
You're
this
gonna
is just
grapple
a small hiccup in her healing process. She will be fine with more bed rest.
Oh, she doesn't seem too great. Oh, she's never done that before.
It's okay. It's all right. Get it. That's
It's not cooked.
No, that's a 9. 9 plus. Yeah, that's not great. All said and done. I think we're up there with an 11.
Well, her armor class is not amazing, so you're winning out there.
Yahtzee. So now it's a strength contest with what was once an invalid. I'm guessing is now slightly more robust.
Oh yes, they're a rather robust invalid. They're full of what appears to be supernatural or augmented strength.
She didn't. Oh, obviously the spell worked. She's feeling great now. So all right. I will.
She's trying to rip your bloody head off!
Back down to bed. Down to bed.
Okay, cool. Are you trying to you just
Yep,
grab her
hit,
and you're restraining her?
I'm restraining
So she's
her.
at one point. She's like reaching behind. You guys see these large claws start protruding from her hands, and she grabs around behind Simon and attempts to rake him across the back.
This is unnecessary.
He's like wiggling and wiggle your elbows and just sort of like push your arms, and the way she's like flailing around ineffectually behind you as you push her down closer and closer. What would you guys like to do? So we have 3.
3.
Bruno?
Things are getting a little bit out of hand. You're trying to push her into the bed, but
I can fix this.
the claws are a disturbing sign. I think I need to help you, so I will attach myself to her leg, in a thing, and say, "Easy now, Gran. Best get in bed," and try and grapple her prone.
To be fair, it worked for the horse.
All right, give me an attack roll.
Yeah, sure.
With advantage because prone or currently grappled.
Attack modifier is pretty good. Unarmed strike. Oh, I'm only +0. I get dex on it. Anyway, 14.
Alright, so you grab onto her legs, much like the horse. Now you've got 2 people grappling her. And Liam, what would you like to do at this point? She seems to be quite restrained. Her arms are still flailing about. Augustus still has her around the waist and is trying to get her into the bed. And Bernard's just picked up her legs, and now she's sort of off the ground completely, but the top half of her body is still flailing around.
Does she look like she can still hurt somebody, or does she look restrained enough?
With those teeth, yeah, they're starting to get pretty sharp.
Okay, I'm going to tell a very bad joke and cast Tasha's Seduce Laughter.
And she fails her saving throw. Is that a wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Alright. And starts... and becomes a little bit easier to handle, but still like lashing around in another way.
To be fair, outside of healing magic, laughter is the best medicine.
It does nothing. It just, they are incapacitated.
They're incapacitated. They get a wisdom saving throw on their next turn.
Yep, I'm also, if I can, I just like to look around to see if I can see anything to restrain her with, which I might be able to go for on my next turn.
Yeah, there's a rather heavy bench that's next to, like, for sitting on. That's like right next to the table. There's like, and a few small stools. One stool particularly has like 3 legs coming out of it. You could probably like just get it around her head and arms, like sit on that, and that'd keep it in place.
I was going to go for a really tight tuck of the sheet. Are you saying that's not going to hold?
She has a
Well,
knife
back to
in
the top of the round. Back to the top of the round. What are you doing?
Is there a sheet?
Yes.
I'm-
Sheet's been thrown aside.
I'm going to attempt the healing burrito, where we get the sheet and wrap her up.
All right.
Because you can keep those
there's
little
a
hands
heavier
flat.
blanket even, because it is winter, so there's like a couple of layers of
Oh,
heavier blankets.
perfect. There's even more healing inside the burrito blanket. So let's try to get
Alright,
her...
so just give me an attack roll. Actually, you've got the attack on. Just give me a dexterity roll to try and grab the blanket while holding her in place.
Do I have advantage on that for some peculiar reason?
Yeah, because everyone else is helping out.
That will be a... If it's just dexterity saving throw, or just plus my dex?
No, it's plus your dex. You can.
So that would be a 16.
All right, awesome. So you like you've got her, and then you sort of go over, grab the blanket, throw it over, and wrap it around underneath, pinning her arms in place. She's going to go ahead and try and make a strength versus your strength to get out. So
She does have to make her save at the end of her turn in order to break free.
Also, anytime somebody attacks her in that state, she gets a wisdom saving throw.
Is it attack or damage? Each time it takes damage.
Okay, well, it wasn't taking any damage.
So I'm just loving the blanket.
Cool. All right. So yeah, no, she doesn't get to attack. She is incapacitated by the hideous laughter, and at the end of her turn, fails a saving throw to try and. What's your DC on that, or is it just a wisdom saving throw?
DC 13.
DC 13. No, she fails. And so you guys are able to actually bundle her up pretty easily. And now you've got her. She's like, ah, ah! Just her head is exposed. She's trying to like get out of these blankets and bind it up a couple of times.
Is she still laughing?
Yeah. She lasts for one more round, which is enough for you guys to bundle her up.
Well, I've
and
got an
then she
experiment I'd
stops.
like to do. I'd like to try and tickle her feet if she's got her slippers off.
She doesn't seem
and
to
see
respond.
what happens.
It's she's got her bare feet are exposed and her head is exposed. She's bundled up in like 3 layers of blankets on the bed, and she doesn't seem to respond. It's like she's got no feeling in her feet.
So does your auntie go through these kind of cycles often? Is this a symptom that she
No,
experiences?
we've never seen her do this. She seems to be completely injured. Normally at this point we take her to the doctor, or to the wise woman, but we haven't been able to get to the wise woman. We have issues with the doctor.
I think maybe if we reinforce the blanket to keep the warmth in the winter that we're going through now, we should be able to get her to the wise woman.
And I think
soon.
she's looking sprightly enough now
She's
to
good,
survive
yeah.
the trip.
I don't think with the blanket in place, she'll survive the trip just fine.
Yeah.
This is
Okay, give me a persuasion roll. You can either both make the roll or one person with advantage.
That's nice. That is a 21.
Well, I definitely haven't seen her exhibit so much energy in months. In fact, possibly years. But if what you say is true, then maybe there is still hope for her.
Yep.
Make a deception roll without advantage.
That's an 8.
It's like, looks at your face like, I hope. And she clutches her chest, some kind of medallion on her chest. He's like,
May the god of nature watch over her.
yes. She sort of looks at you. It's like, yes, may Melchi look over us all. Are you a follower of the divine goddess?
I'm a man of the wilds.
I'm a halfling. We follow all the good gods.
Oh, yes, well, Maliki is definitely a good god. She's one of the best. She looks after us. Looks after the farmers and those who toil in the fields, and those who live in the woods. I'm surprised you haven't heard of her before.
I spent a lot of my childhood on the ground.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Okay. Well, that's okay then. I guess we can find solace in even the greatest of adversity. Do you think she'll be alright until the morning? I fear for traveling through the night.
I don't think her condition is ever going to change.
Look, quite honestly, I think that her best chance of survival is to see the wise woman as quickly as possible. We'll do everything in our power to make sure she gets there alive.
If you just... I'm trying to sense disease. Is it like clicked over to 11?
Yeah, so it's that last bit that was holding on. It seems like it was a really, like thinking about it, you didn't get it at the time, but thinking about it now, there was some kind of really bad reaction exhibited to the healing. Like healing her caused her tissues maybe to conflict with the tubers that were inside of her, and they just revolted, and
So
it catalyzed the rest of the takeover of her
He's
body.
saying is
So she's fun dead now.
She's fun dead. You killed her.
You know, this... I understand that you're losing an aunt, but this has been a rough winter.
We're losing an aunt? I thought you said she still had a chance.
In hindsight...
She's not my aunt. She's my mother. She cries and breaks down on the floor.
I punch you in the...
Make an attack roll.
No, I take it.
Okay, with advantage.
Boom! 1 point.
Fair.
The husband comes in. Mr. Cooper is like, "What? What's going on? What have you done to her?"
I'm gonna crouch down and sort of pat her on the shoulder and like, I'm sure we'll do everything.
Get away from her, you monsters! Oh my goodness!
Don't loosen the blanket.
My
That
stepmother!
blanket's important.
He walks over and is like, "What's happened here?"
I fear she was finally consumed by the tubers within her. Right at the moment of me healing her. But...
Make a persuasion roll.
16.
He's like, "Are you a healer?"
I am. Generally, it goes off without a hitch.
She will live, won't she?
She'll keep moving.
She'll be just as fine as everyone else in town, I'm sure.
She's gonna keep doing whatever she's doing now.
She has a new lease on life. I just really, really deeply advise you keep that blanket tight.
Mrs. Cooper was like, "They said they would take her to the wise woman tonight. And also, they said that she was going to pass away, that we would lose her."
Both of those things are going to happen. But we will take her to the hedgewoman tonight.
Or sooner.
We will brave the cold post haste. But before the Hastings, we will take her to the. We've got something to take her in. Yes, I will carry her the entire way.
We have a horse, don't we? We had the ones that, or the mules.
Your pack
that
horses, your mules are in the stable.
Yes.
Yes.
Or at the barn, next to the forge.
I'm just saying the prognosis is
We'll do everything we can
Yes.
not.
Absolutely.
and return her to full health.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I want the three of you to make perception rolls, just by the by.
Oh no! I'm focusing on the
That's
burrito.
lucky. That's 13.
Perception is 8 on the dice, plus 2 10.
Alright, great. Yeah, look, you seem to have calmed them down, and they are exhibiting faith in you. They seem to be quite trusting of you at this point, in spite of your callous words. And they are taking you on. You still have your detection up, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Again, like, she's infected, nothing else is infected. Yeah, that's all. And you take her where? Are you going to leave now?
But before we head, I just want to say, I say this with the most sincerity and knowledge I have of what's going on in your village. But it is your faith in your goddess that keeps you safe right now. Do not let it waver just because you have lost. We are taking your mother to the wise woman. Just because we are taking your mother to the wise woman should not let you lose your faith. Keep it and keep it strong. And your worship is safe and secret with us.
So we persuasion roll.
That's a 25.
She stops her crying, stops her husband is holding her, and she comes up to you and takes your hand and pushes an amulet into your hand and says, "We are the only people you can trust. Only those who have worshipped Maliki have survived. Thank you for your faith. Let this protect you."
Augustus goes in for a hug. Like a proper, hug. A hug that's probably been coming for a good few weeks now.
Okay, and as you reach out, she senses the need inside of you as you sense the need inside of her. She has just lost somebody. Her mother is past, she realizes in her heart that your words are true, and it is gone. And in spite of your incompetent stumbling of phrases, she has seen your honesty and the truth of your spirit. And you have seen in her the love that somebody can have for another, and the graciousness that worship can give back, and your faith in humanity is restored just a little bit, and you both hug in this warm, loving, platonic embrace and share tears that you've been holding back, that you've been unable to shed, that you never even knew that you had until this point.
So beautiful.
Aww.
I burst into tears and hug their legs while they're hugging. I hope they notice.
I'm vaguely confused because I never knew that he wasn't just always this way.
And in the background,
The healing burrito is important, though.
he actually stops, starts breathing evenly, just stares at you with a look of absolute disdain on her face.
But I put a bit of extra cloth for a blindfold.
Blindfolding yourself.
You pick up
That'd be a second option.
you see a knitted doily just on a side table, and you pick it up and drop it over her face. Alright, so you conclude your business there. She says, be careful of the bread holes, and all those they hold close. There's something rotten there, something deep, something that you should be afraid of.
I promise you we will put nature right here.
Good. The wise woman, she will hopefully help you. Astrid is powerful in the ways of the forest. Go now. Okay, so you guys leave. Where are you heading to with taking the corpse of the aunt?
The corpse?
Are you taking not the corpse,
The
but
living corpse.
the twitching body of
Grandma! She has a name. It's
Grandma.
Ethel.
Ethel.
Ethel, the beacon of hope.
Ethel, the beacon of hope.
I'd like to run to the stables, get the pack mules so that we can
so to
burrito
the barn.
her over a
Yep.
pack mule and walk it.
All right,
I
and
do
I'm
reckon-
assuming you two also are heading back that direction.
Where
s-
am I? Just a quick question.
You were with these guys.
You were with us.
So I. Oh, okay.
You were in the building the whole time. You're just sitting back in the corner, just watching.
Initiative, that just never included me.
I'm sorry. I
That
didn't
was probably my
Include-
fault. I'm sorry.
On the plus side, you didn't kill Grandma, which is nice.
Well, I didn't, but somebody else might have. But yeah.
I didn't. She was practically dead.
So as soon as we step out of the door, it's like, so your healing forced her into this horrible undead state as opposed to letting her pass naturally by its own causes? That's a real lesson, huh?
I've got like tears streaming down my face. I'm just like dragging Grandma. There is no
dragging her
note.
through the smoke.
No,
you
no,
tied rope.
I've got like tied around and I'm like over the shoulder. It's like I'm
How
I'm
do
like
you saw fit to put a gag in her mouth?
not while we're inside.
But as soon as we get outside, that'd be good.
Okay, right. You bundle up that doily and
Yeah.
It goes from the face to in the face.
And maybe just like drape a little bit of a cloth over her face so they can't see that we've got a gag woman, just like a
Yep.
little lump.
And it just looks like we're like carrying a corpse around.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, it's just a well-rolled blanket.
So, you guys walk out and you're heading up to the barn, and Spear and Sarya, you're crossing the field. As you leave, you feel the eyes of one of these woodsmen, the hunter types in the green cloaks, watching you as you go. And you see a group of them depart from the back end of the Great Hall and go in the sort of northern direction from town.
Okay.
About four.
About four.
Four of them.
Going north.
Yes.
And what direction are we traveling in?
So you've come kind of from northeast
Mhm.
down into the town, and yeah, they're heading straight like due north.
Okay. So, but they're not
Going in the same
in the
direction.
same direction as us.
No, well, you guys have just left the town
Yeah,
hall and
yeah.
you're just crossing.
Okay.
There's the forge is just
Yeah,
on the other
yeah.
side of the courtyard.
Yeah.
the town square, as it were.
All right.
And as you sort of cross the town square heading in the direction of the barn, or you're sort of looking off in that direction, you see some figures. I'm assuming you have some light amongst you.
Dark eyes, night vision.
Night vision. Well, then you see
Yeah,
this
holding
group,
your hand.
the rest of your party coming up the hill from the direction of where the Cooper's house was.
Oh, okay, great. I give them a wave.
Which of you can see?
I have dark vision, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're probably the only one.
Oh, okay.
Humans. I've got a
Well, you
faintly
see a
glowing
shadowy
mushroom.
figure at the top of the hill waving at you.
That could be our companion weapon.
I'm gonna yell out.
Okay, yeah. What do you-
Hey!
Yep, that's them.
Hey, and then I'll skip a bit. I'm quite happy. Oh no, wait, we have the chest with us, don't we?
You have, the chest. So
Which is
you both parties are carrying something. They seem to be carrying a twitching body over Augustus's shoulder, and
Why do I
these
keep
guys.
carrying the dead bodies?
You're
And,
gonna make the halfling do it?
and Spear and Saya, well, Saya in particular seems to be carrying a rather hefty but small chest under one arm.
So,
Guys?
you all seem to have been rather busy. What's
Yeah, we've had an interesting,
what's this thing?
interesting time.
That's Auntie Ethel. She's also formerly Auntie like Ethel, seeing as she's currently,
Not.
got the local impairment. Can we
Am I
call it?
still loopy?
She's all
No, you're
tubered
fine
up,
now.
frankly.
Okay.
You were just kind of
What the
dazed.
halfling said.
She's just having a rough time of it. That's all. We need to get her to Asta, which is the wise woman.
Astrid.
Astrid.
Astrid, my apologies.
Astrid.
Yes.
I'm remembering something. That's it. While we were in there, I had a vision. There was a message. It was just like the dragon, except it was the unicorn, and they said something. It was, find Astrid.
What unicorn dragon?
I hate to agree
Does
with
she
you.
smell a little bit like alcohol?
Although,
The faintest amount of whiskey, you guys detect this some smell of a very fine whiskey coming off her
Wow, I
breath.
didn't know you were allowed to drink. Is that a thing?
Excuse
Your
me?
order? I don't know, your order. Paladins drinking?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So it was a unicorn, it was talking to
Okay.
you.
Spear.
I
is this because your behavior was a little strange? I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But is this But can you promise me that are these visions? Do you know where their origin are?
Well, no, I don't know where there are.
Yeah, but
Hang on,
do you
get-
feel a
get visions?
connection?
All I can tell you is, yes, of course I feel a connection. I already told you all about the vision with the dragon, right?
Yes.
We all
Oh,
remember
one above
that.
the mountains.
Yes, the one above the mountains.
Yeah.
Well done. I'll give
Just
you a
so-
star later on.
Yeah.
Just not to put a finer point in it. Can we do this while we walk? Because she's really heavy and twitchy.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm not just carrying around her,
Also, there's
but
still
also
one of
the
those
ethical
woodsmen
burden
who's
on
watching
her.
you guys.
We're going towards the witch's house.
There's a woodsman that's watching us.
Yeah, he's just standing by the entrance to the Great Hall, and he's just
forest.
leaning there. Keep an eye on you guys as you leave.
Okay, let's move towards.
Go.
As we go, we'll explain that while we were visiting, is it Ivan?
Ivan Brett
In Ivan's hall where we were having the drinks, which is a very nice drink. I can recommend whiskey to you guys. You should try it sometime.
I have tried it.
You've tried it? Yeah, it's really good. Anyway, there was a stuffed unicorn head on his wall. It was
And this was
horrifying.
the
Fake,
one
right?
that was talking to you.
Who has
No,
a
it
fake
was
unicorn
real.
head?
It was real.
It was real.
And I had the most bizarre feeling, like, I don't know a lot about unicorns, but are unicorns physical? Because it felt to me like the unicorn's head had the spirit of the unicorn in it, like it was trapped in there. You know?
Like I thought if you killed the unicorn, they disappeared in a magical rainbow-colored pus of dust puff.
Well, this was not
Floated
magical dust.
to the lip.
This was a unicorn's head.
Was it magical?
Well, it felt magical. So later on,
It felt
well,
magical.
after I drank this whiskey and he showed
be
us
unicorn.
this box full of treasure,
Oh yeah, we have a box full of treasure.
Okay, so you guys have reached the barn. You guys have reached the barn next to the forge at this point. And I'm assuming you duck inside to
Yeah.
have this meeting, away from prying eyes and ears.
Well, to
Continue.
rustle up our pack animals,
Yep.
give them a quick once-over for pregnancy before leaving.
Yeah, so ignore the box of treasure for a moment. We'll explain that in a minute. So when he was showing me the box of treasure, I wasn't me anymore. Do you know what I mean? You'll know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew you guys would get it.
Yeah.
So, it was
So
like,
let me get it. The unicorn hunters gave you a box of treasure, and you felt strange,
yeah,
like
exactly.
not yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Saria.
I have
Saya will know what I mean too, right? You know, when you're like outside yourself, you know?
well.
And while I was outside myself, watching myself, I heard the unicorn, and it said to me that we needed to find Astrid, and we need to finish what she had started.
All right. Well then, if you have been blessed with
You're all
this,
looking at me like I'm crazy.
No,
but there was a
I-
unicorn head of
I
that
wasn't-
wall, and now we have a thing of treasure, and I'm not crazy.
Spear,
okay.
I
I believe that you believe this.
No, Spear, if anyone here, I know what it's like to be in touch with the divine, and I do not think that you're crazy. I am so glad that you are here and you have been blessed with this. We should go, we should follow this.
Magic's real.
Magic
And-
is real.
I know. Magic's real. But also, it seems like I was skeptical until you said that last thing with the unicorn told you to finish Astrid's plan,
That's right.
and yet we were going to see the hedge wizardess, the hedge witch,
Her name is Astrid.
and her name's Astrid.
Yeah.
So we're actually already all on the unicorn's plan.
It must be our destiny.
It
somehow.
is just coming together so beautifully.
Isn't it?
This is
We're clearly on
Wait,
some
so
kind of divine
this
mission.
was predestined. This you point to the art. This was always going to happen, right?
I guess it is some god's
Right?
will.
I guess so.
A cycle of death and decay.
All right.
Coming
Surely
back.
okay. Yeah, this is just the natural course of things.
Alright, this is so beautiful. Let's go. Let's
I
do
know,
this.
we're on a divine mission.
We are on a divine
I
mission.
promise. It makes sense.
But we can discuss that later.
I'm going to attempt to make.
The clouds part, and the full moon shines its light across the village.
Melody looks down on us.
we're truly traveling with unicorn power. Right.
The clouds seem to be, in fact, swirling away and moving away, leaving the whole of the forest and the town itself lit up in bright moonlight, the full moon.
Okay, what are we going to do with this box of
she's
treasure?
Get rid of it.
Box of treasure? I take a look at this box of treasure. Is it a diseased box of treasure?
So what you're detecting disease?
Poison
It is not
disease.
diseased.
Alright. I'm just saying, nothing good comes from possessions. Just leave it in
Can
the
I use my
barn.
divine sense on it? I mean,
You use your divine sense. It has a taint of infernal.
I'm all for
Guys, it has a taint of infernal.
That's another reason.
I don't know what that means.
So you want to get rid of it?
Yeah.
You aren't. It's true. No, what you're saying is true. You're not completely schooled in this, but you sort of cast. You sort of may say your prayer and do your detection, and try and detect. What is it? Undead, celestial abominations.
I'd like to cast detect gold. It's where I
Your
pick up
gold
the
sense
coin
is
and
tingling.
I bite the corner of the thing.
Don't put it in your mouth.
Yeah. The distinct metallic twang of gold and the solidity of the coins.
It is gold.
So
Yeah.
Put a
it's
little
some
bite
kind
into
of
it.
demon treasure.
Or they didn't. Where did they say they get it from?
They said they got it from some dwarven mines, but then they didn't really explain how they found them, and it seemed strange to me. Until it seemed very sensible, but then it seemed strange again.
Wasn't there some sort of
I
lost
think
dwarven city in these mountains?
Yeah, there is a lost dwarven city in these mountains.
Oh.
That
Much farther
fell
up the
over
mountains.
And over and over again.
Talking like miles away.
Well, if it has an infernal sense from it, and they think they got it from dwarven mines, I don't know. It sounds questionable.
I
Why
mean,
It's
did
not.
I-
It's
just
not
say-
like dripping in infernal. It's just got like a
Kind of
faint
like-
taint to it.
kind of like it's been near some kind of giant fire-breathing dog
Yeah,
pregnancy thing.
You can give me an Arcana check.
My taint.
That's a natural one, buddy.
Absolutely correct. Any proximity to some kind of otherworldly entity from the abyss would result in a taint like this.
I reckon whatever nefarious activities they're doing with these hounds, it's what's rubbing off on this treasure.
But rubbing off is... I'm just saying, let's not judge the treasure. The treasure potentially has...
I vote
Treasure
we
is
bless the
innocent.
treasure and then let it join the party.
I'm just gonna... Here, is there like a... Can I, like, stamp around? Is there like a loose floorboard or something? That I could, like...
Yeah. Well, not... it's like just packed earth on the ground floor of the barn.
I've got a shovel.
There are like piles of hay and hay bales, and in the hay loft there's like bales of hay. You could probably hide it, hide your treasure in a hay bale.
I'm gonna use the shovel. The bard and I are gonna...
It's a pitchfork. Oh, you have a shovel, but there's also a pitchfork just lying around.
We're just gonna like dig it up a little bit, put some dirt on it, and then put a hay bale on it.
Alright, awesome. You have buried your treasure!
And then, shall we go?
Yes.
Under the light of Salune, let's travel to Astrid.
Alright, so how are you gonna find this place? Because at the moment you've only been given vague directions.
Fair point.
There's always someone that ruins your fun.
The smith would know.
Yes.
Alright.
Let's go ask
Cooper,
him.
yes.
Alright, cool. Will you sort of just step outside the barn?
We won't take Auntie Ethel with us when we go and ask.
Give me a perception roll, guys. Anyone who's stepping out to go over to the barn. Anyone who's not, don't worry about it.
21.
Alright. So you step out, you look, and they haven't seen you so much, but there's still a woodsman just hanging out, peering every now and again over in your general direction. He's just across the town square at the Great Hall, but seems to be there keeping tabs on you. Anyway, you duck across and go to the smith's house and knock on the door. After a couple of minutes, door slides. See a bolt slides and Mr. Bren Smith is like, his eyes. What?
I'm
you
really
alright?
sorry to disturb you at this time of night. We're
It's alright.
taking your aunt to the wise woman. I was hoping you could give us some directions.
Tonight? Is she that bad?
Yes, it's important to get her there as quickly as possible. We're taking one of our horses. I'm sure it will be not too difficult, but we just need the directions.
Yeah, look, just to the north end of the town, you'll see an old trail. It's marked by a standing stone just on the south side. So on the northern side, you can't miss it. You should be fine in this moonlight. You need any torches or anything?
Probably. Is there anything else north of the town?
No, nothing. Just her hut. And that's about it, really. The only things closest to this town, apart from her, is you could go a day's ride and find the Lord's estate. Just to the east.
Spear, didn't we see...
Is that Lord Straw?
Yeah.
Lord Strachan.
Lord Strachan?
No, not Strachan.
No, Alex. Whatever.
This
Oh,
is the Lord of the Land.
Yeah.
Lord...
Wellington.
Yeah, that's right.
Alexander?
He is Sir Andal Wentworth.
Andal. So, A.
Didn't we see a group of 4 huntsmen going north?
Yeah. When we came out of the barn.
Yeah, not 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
They could be
we should
going
go
to Astrid.
quickly.
We should...
Make haste.
We should probably hurry up.
Yeah. All right. Is there any way? Were they moving quickly at all?
Were they on horses?
Yeah. No, just on foot.
How many horses do we have?
2 pack mules.
Okay, 2 crack mules. This is
Yeah,
not going to feed
burrito.
him.
Can we borrow? Does he has horses? Yeah.
He has some stallions that you talked to just earlier. Ivan does, yeah. In the stables next to them. There's only 2 stallions there.
Oh, but the Smiths don't have a.
The Smiths don't have a riding horse, no. They have like an old destrier just sitting around the corner of the barn.
Why don't we steal Ivan's horses and go for a run? Well, when I say steal, I mean convince them to go for a run.
Well, with 2 of them, I I guess we can get 2 of you on. And,
Or
He's a halfling.
Yeah.
and I can go horse.
Yes.
Yeah,
go
then you
horse.
can carry somebody else.
You can turn into a horse.
Yeah.
You can turn into a horse.
Yeah.
Can I ride you?
Well,
Yeah.
based on the numbers, 2 people are probably going to have to ride probably 2 of the horses.
Okay.
Well,
Do you come with a saddle when you turn into a horse? Or
No, but
3 people become 1!
I've not really been a horse before.
Oh.
It's not a call for it, I guess. But we can try it.
you can ask the other horses for tips.
maybe a pony for the halfling, because it's a little easier to ride it.
Let's. If
But wait,
Oh, we need 2.
does
but-
Bren have a
also
horse?
got the-
Have 2 horses or no?
Alright.
Bren Smith,
Yeah.
he has like he has like a cart horse.
It won't be very fast though.
We
I
can't
have
take
full
Ethel.
armor.
Any horse
probably come
will be hindered in
Bernard.
this snow. The snow is quite deep, and like while it's
Also
reasonably
I'm
well
wearing
trodden
armor.
around the town, like going out of the town, it would be probably much deeper. Not impossibly deep, but deep enough to slow a horse.
That means it's deep enough to slow 4 people walking.
Exactly, it would be faster on a horse. Unless you knew the woods really well,
Like they do.
like they do. But you could make survival checks if you have high survival. You'd likely
And
be able
We
to
could
move
track
faster.
their tracks as
could we
well.
ask the smith?
The snow
Miss
did just stop.
Smith to come with us?
No, I think it's
No,
best that he
more
stays
people
here.
on horse.
Yeah, I agree with
Could we ask one of the Coopers to come with us?
I think we try and ask the horses to come with us. The
I
ones
think
that
we
are
Oh,
used,
the ones that.
are used to hunting in these woods all the
that. But we
time.
can still bring the mules to the lady on
They're not going to be able to move fast enough.
the burrito.
And my worry is that those
They're
woodsmen
gonna go.
are looking to prevent Astrid from
Doing things.
living. I'm going to say living in general is probably what they're hoping to take off her agenda for tomorrow.
We can't. Like, that's just not an option.
Like the doctor and the headman, they seem to have it in for the Smith's family
All right.
and the head.
Alright, let's
let's
go.
go get the
Let's get on a
horses.
horse.
Alright, so where do you go from here?
To the stables to find my buddy who knows I have the best hand in the world.
Okay, and there's a woodsman there who'll be watching you cross to the stables, you assume, or are you going to try and sneak around?
Let's attempt stealth.
Can we distract the woodsman with the conversation or...
Who?
Because there's only 2 horses, so you only needed 2 people at least to get the horses out of the stable and get towards the woods. So we can
I
meet
can-
up.
Maybe some of us who are good at performance can have some kind of fight and then decide that we're going to...
Can give it a go.
Is anyone-
That's a brilliant
absolutely
idea.
do.
I start walking towards the woodsman.
I start slinking
Wait, what?
towards the stables.
Yeah, the
Sneaking
woodsman
towards
sees
the
you
stables.
and sort of like,
I'm going to stand back. I'm in full armor.
I call out to
Not
him,
a
hey,
performer.
hey.
I'm not going to be stealthy.
yeah, hey, little guy.
I'll walk up
Fancy
behind
seeing
you.
you here.
You stuck outside.
Yeah, well, you know, it's just so nice out here right now.
Do you want a sausage?
Yeah, I want a sausage.
I'll go get you one.
Thanks.
Come way to the door, I'll drag one in from outside.
Sure, give me a persuasion.
Can I be like intimidating behind you?
Yeah, so you stroll
Like
up
just-
behind
Do you
him.
want a sausage or
Alright,
else?
cool. So
Just being like...
you're gonna make that a
beautiful and
disadvantage
intimidating.
because there's someone standing behind you giving him a death stare.
Yeah, it's now. Do you want a sausage or else?
That becomes a 6.
Well, for intimidation purposes, that's a whole.
You also intimidate him at disadvantage.
Ooh, come on, guys, be nice to me here. He's nice to me. That's still an 18.
Okay, so he's you're like, you want a sausage? I'll go get you a sausage. And she's like, I will murder you. Your blazing, pupilless eyes stare death into his soul. He's like, yeah, maybe I do want a sausage, little guy. All right.
I'm watching and I'm like kind of impressed with the intimidation. I'm like, I should try that sometime.
I look at your character Nariko a little concerned. I say, no sausage for you. And then
Smoke starts issuing from the blazing white hot coals of her Asimar eyes.
okay. I'm gonna just go and get the sausage quickly and
Do that,
try and
Mana.
de-escalate
You
this.
do that.
I'll either come back to the sounds of combat or.
Alright, so you walk inside, and the guy kind of follows you to the door and turns around. While he's distracted, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm sneaking off to the horses.
Right, so you wander across to the barn. Is anyone joining him?
Do you think you can handle it on your own, or do you want to?
I mean,
Person?
one extra person's never going to hurt, right?
I'll go too.
Alright, so you two go. You can both give me stealth rolls.
Oh, that's not good.
21.
7.
Okay. You guys walk across. The woodsman kind of looks over his shoulder and takes stock of the fact that these guys are leaving, but then looks back to you and decides the better of keeping an eye on them. And the three of you guys walk into the Great Hall again. But entering the Great Hall, you see that there's only a few people left around. Everyone's sort of like retired for the night. There's only a couple of people from the Trot family are left, sort of tidying up the bits and pieces and sweeping up the old hay, throwing fresh hay on the ground, fresh straw on the ground where it's needed to pick up any extra spilt moisture and stuff like that. Bits and pieces are being scraped away. He goes, well, that doesn't look like there's any sausages left.
Trust me, a halfling, we can muscle something up with these leftovers. And I get some of the scraps of the stuffing and the thing, and I just put together a little sandwich, a little bread sandwich. Yeah, that should.
I know it's all being cleaned up.
Oh,
it's like the last plate of leftovers is going into the kitchen now. You see one of the other servants from the Trot family just sort of like walking out he sort of like sticks his head in the back door and looks across and is like, oh, hey, sorry, I didn't realize that you guys had retired for the night. Can I help you at all?
No, we're just cruising around. This guy here is hungering for a sausage, and I'm just kind of looking for some leftovers.
Sort of looks at the woodsman. The woodsman looks back at the young Trot, and they both then look to you together, and they say, No, in unison. No, we'll be fine for the night. Thank you. Perhaps you should go about your business.
Like totally hive mind that whole sentence.
Yeah, like
there.
totally hive mind that whole sentence there. They're still looking at you.
You know what they say about eating late? It brings nightmares. So after a meal like that one, probably should settle down now. Anyway, that's a good thing, and be well.
And the young Trot man turns to the woodsman and hunter and says, "Perhaps you should go back to your work." You say, "Yes, I should go back to my work. Come on, let's go outside now." He turns to you and takes you out. You see that the Trot man is wearing like a black bundle tucked under his arm, and he quickly runs back to the back of the room.
Black bundle.
Yeah, a little black bundle, some kind of black cloth bundle, tied under his arm. So he ushers you up. In the meantime, Augustus and Lynn, you've crossed the yard. That distraction was good enough, and you reach the stables. The stables, as usual, are not locked, and you open the door. And you see the two stallions are still there in place. You also see there's a third stallion.
Alright,
I'm gonna check whether any of them are pregnant.
None of the stallions are pregnant.
That is lucky.
Wait! Make a nature roll.
3 nature rolls, right?
That's an 8.
Well, having a closer inspection might give you a better idea.
Okay, another nature roll.
No, it's fine. Definitely
But
not
I am
pregnant.
getting up and close and personal with these
Okay,
stallions,
then make another nature roll.
apparently. That's a 22.
Examine the first one and the second one. They're the ones that were there the other day. They seem fine. You go to approach the third one, and it sort of turns to you and snorts. Sort of like becomes edgy at your approach.
Hey, it's alright. Just here to say hi. I sort of make a
Sort of
apple or something.
walks backwards out of the stable, or out of the little stall,
Mm.
and sort of like turns to face you.
Horses can walk backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, horses
Actually, yeah.
can walk
It
backwards.
takes a lot of training, but you have to be very well trained as a horse to do it.
They don't love it.
They don't love it, but they can do it.
Generally don't like
So,
walking where they're
and looks at you both, and then so just goes walking to the. Have you guys come in through the front door or the back door at the bottom?
the door that was closest from stealthing from the
It's the
forge.
front door. And then sort of goes to walk past you.
Wait,
This
it's out
horse-
of its stall.
Yeah, it just
As in the
walks out of its
stall
stall.
just like wasn't. Oh, so it's not a closed stall.
No, they're not closed stalls. They're tied off in the stalls.
Alright.
This one wasn't tied off in its stall, though. In fact, it wears no bit or bridle or any kind of harness on it at all.
Is it
Is
jet
it
black
a
and have
bird?
glowing red eyes? That
It
sort
is
of shit?
jet black. It doesn't have glowing red eyes.
Is it
Hey.
some kind of bird?
If I look at the ground, is it leaving paw prints instead of hoof prints?
No, it's just like normal hoof prints. It is larger than the other stallions, which is in and of itself impressive.
Hey,
Hey,
Gus, do you want to have a chat with this one?
hey, buddy. How are you going?
Just keeps walking towards whoever's closest.
I would
Me,
just,
did polite respect.
Yeah, it's Did you want a carrot?
So it keeps walking towards you.
Are you? I'm feeling malicious intent off you,
You're
man.
playing chicken at the moment.
I'm just.
You
I'm
gonna
just-
step aside?
Just gonna. Yeah, it's just like slowly walking past me.
If you're not stopping it, it's gonna walk past you.
Walk past or shoulder charge him down, chest bump him
Oh.
right
It's just
the
like
fuck
walking.
down.
It's walking through like it owns the place.
Maybe it does. Maybe it's the Lord's
It's
stallion.
Dragon's horse.
On my detect diseaseness, is it infested?
No.
Is it
Not at all.
unusually clean?
Goddamn magical horses.
And it walks past you. And it walks past you. And it walks out the stable door.
At the back door.
No, the front door.
Okay, I turn to the other horses and I'm like, guys, we got to move quickly. But do you feel like a midnight run? Because we should totally go for
Yeah,
a midnight run.
yeah, let's get
That
out of
guy's
here.
an asshole.
That guy's
Let's go.
freaking us out. Like, seriously, what the fuck is with that guy?
All right.
How come
What a
he's allowed to
fucking
walk
freak.
around?
I've never seen him before.
Follow
What an
me, guys.
asshole. Jesus Christ.
We
I've never seen him
out
before.
and about. That is not one, not a horse. Two, let's go.
Watching. So we see.
You guys are out in the night, and you're out. So you're not in the stable.
No,
you're
we're just
in the
walking
barn.
out of the
Yeah,
house.
So
Yeah.
who's still outside? Yeah, Sarya and Spear are outside, and you guys can make wisdom perception tests.
No.
Spear.
10.
12.
You hear as the stable door opens a little bit, and you see looks like bits of steam coming off the ground in the snow. You guys sort of go in, you saddle up the horses. You guys do anything about this? No? Yes?
Bits of steam. Well,
Yeah, it's like
just some.
steam starts. You hear steam.
Divine
Do we
sense.
see what?
Can I just.
Yep, so is this a free action? How many times can you do this
I
a
do
day?
it 3 times a day.
Okay, so this is your second time, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, you're in the vicinity of an infernal.
Okay.
There is an invisible infernal presence walking out of that barn right now.
Okay, draw my sword.
Okay.
I walk towards the. Maybe call over Saya. Saya,
Yeah, what's up?
I think something's going on in the barn.
Alright, and then I just start walking towards the barn, I guess.
Last time you were in the barn, you died. You remember that, right?
Reborn.
That was the best thing that ever happened to me.
better being, you know, like.
Alright, no, I'm coming. Where are we going?
I don't know. There's something happening in the barn. I get a sense that there's something wrong over there.
Alright, let's go.
As you get closer, you realize it's kind of getting closer to you. And you guys can both make wisdom perception rolls again.
Come on. 20, not natural.
11.
Alright, you're like, it's getting closer, it's getting closer. You see puff of steam. Puff of steam as it looks like hoof prints are going into the ground and just melting the stone instantly, and steam is rising, and then suddenly, whatever it is going into, goes into a gallop.
Oh, which direction?
In the direction of just out of the town to northeast.
Northeast. Okay. Alright.
So this thing is it's coming closer and closer, and you see the footprints. You don't quite collate that the invisible thing is where the footprints are, but it's getting within striking distance of you now. Do you want to strike at it?
I can't see it.
No, you can still have a go.
I mean, I'm not very wise, so yeah.
So you see it. It's whatever. So you're like, you see it. It's like, what? And then you go make a attack with this
Oh
disadvantage.
no! I think I've
You're not there. You're in
seen
the
how
barn.
this. Oh, I still not
You're
seen
in the
God
barn.
damn
These
it.
guys are outside the barn.
Why are we
in the
split?
barn.
No, we're
You've got to
No,
saddle
it's
the horses.
No, they're
There
inside
is.
Oh, yes, of
the
course, of
We
course.
walked
I'm
outside
actually. We're
that-
outside the house.
The
No, you guys are
Dining
in.
hall.
Yeah, you guys are in the Great Hall.
but we were leaving.
We didn't leave the Great Hall.
Not yet. You're
Oh,
about
okay.
to.
Don't stop me.
I
Last
was
time
trying
you tried to stop someone killing something, you let a hellhound attack everywhere.
I was trying to.
So you're rolling with disadvantage because you can't see it.
Ugh. Oh, well, then that's 6.
You just like swing wildly, and then the footprints disappear, but you get the distinct impression of its trajectory, Saya, and it's like doop, doop, doop. And then the footprints, you still hear the but no longer are they leaving marks in the ground. And you feel like the sound of it is the hoofbeats carrying away over the tree line through the air.
Alright.
Flying
And then these guys come out of the barn with two saddled horses and look around. And these guys, well, where are you taking them? Your horses saddled? Are you taking them out the front door of the barn? Or
No, we'll put them in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you,
I'll crack the door open first, take a quick look, see if there's anyone there. The woodsman, for example.
you hear the sounds of scrape, scrape against the boarded up windows of the guest house directly opposite the back of the barn, which is where Saya's and Bernard's rooms were.
So,
They stay
here's an
last.
option. We could always throw Ethel in there. Be with her own kind.
We made a promise.
But you think they're the own kind there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're not with them at the moment. You're still out the front, and these guys come out, and the huntsman is still with you. And you guys walk out, and you guys are out the front. And Spear's got her sword out, and the huntsman's going, "You all right?"
Yeah, I thought I heard something. Did you hear something?
No, not a sausage. He says, and gives you guys a wry look.
What is he talking about?
Nothing, don't worry about it.
Alright, well, we better get going. Better get going to bed. Quick word. Let's go to bed. Let's go this way.
Okay,
Let's
so
talk.
go back to the,
The barn?
Alright, so you guys can hear this. These guys are making a lot of noise to make you guys very aware of it. You've got the horses out the back silently. If you go out the back, if you go left, you go down sort of a main road down the hill through the rest of the town. And if you go right, you kind of go across the square or around the back of the square towards where the barn and the forge are. What would you like to do?
well, let's be careful not to, be where anyone be too visible, but let's head back to the barn so that we can rendezvous with the rest of the group.
That sounds good.
Alright, cool. Give me stealth rolls. Would you like to make one roll with advantage or 2 rolls separately?
I mean, is it just the same effect but with one of us rolling each dice?
Well, it's the chance that one of you guys could fuck up. Or
Up
one
to you.
person rolls for both of you.
So let's roll with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, who's
Alright.
making the roll?
Well, I have +2. What do you have?
+3.
You roll.
What was your first roll?
12
And roll again.
and an 8. So 15.
Okay. So you take the horses. If you're taking the horses wide, they'll leave footprints in the snow, but being a little bit lower based on where these guys are having the conversation, if they're trying to lead them up towards the barn, which is what you heard Saria saying, then going back around and maybe waiting a little while before you go around would be a good idea. So you take the horses, you're talking to them, you say,
It's okay. I'm gonna get you away from that asshole. I'm gonna go for a nice night ride. It's a good night for it.
"Just get me out of here. Ah, it sucks in here. It sucks. I hate that guy.
Here,
Asshole.
prestidigitation, salt hand.
Oh, yeah.
Follow,
Oh.
follow the salt hand.
Such good times. Yeah, you're the good guy. Right. You guys work your way around the back and all rendezvous back in the barn. You have the 2 horses now.
Well, I'm a little concerned about the whatever the hoof steamy thing, invisible thing was that flew up
Yeah,
into
what
the
was
air.
that?
The magic household
What?
horse?
What?
We saw. I heard.
I don't know if it was a horse.
I had.
Make an Arcana check to know.
Yes.
No one listens to me.
We're listening.
It's too much whiskey.
Some kind of flying horse. Maybe it was the god
Maybe it
of
was
thunder or
unicorn.
something.
What was there?
Oh, 10.
Yeah, I had this sense of something amiss. I don't know, some kind of dark presence. I could hear these hoofbeats. You heard them too, right?
Yeah,
Well, we
before
did.
they flew up
We
into.
did see this really freaky horse leaving the stable.
Not a horse.
We did see this really freaky, not a horse leaving the stable.
Horse looking.
It's
not
interesting
horse.
that all of these
It
things
contains
keep-
0
all-
horse, trust me.
No, it's interesting that all of these infernal-like things keep appearing near the barn area.
Stable.
Stable area.
Maybe it's a cursed stable. No, scratch it, that's not a...
Well, that's before we are a little pressed for time.
Let's
Yeah.
get
So
moving.
why don't we get moving? I don't want, my holy quest to end with the death of this woman before we start. So let's go.
Okay,
She's
just
got a good point.
Who's
be-
riding who?
before we go, I talked to the horses.
The question. The question we should ask at
rude.
all good parties.
So maybe put you on... So what was the horse's name?
Its name.
There's 2.
It doesn't know how to tell you its name.
Alright. So this is Primo Stallion.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. And I think maybe you, Spire, should
Hey,
ride.
hey, where's that hand?
Maybe you should ride Primo because you're made of metal. And then we can put up a couple of your others on Secundus over here. Still pretty good. A bit of salt hand. Maybe salt hand.
Here I
and then-
like salt.
The other people can. I'm not going to. I'm just refused to. I'm not going to use that phrase. I'm not going to use that phrase. That's a phrase that's unnecessary. But I will transport you along the ground. And I talked to the horses. I'm going to change shape now, so don't get startled. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
going
I'm
for
gonna
a.
pet the one that I'm
Okay.
Going to go for it,
a
but
little bit of.
this is
Give me an animal handling roll.
Oh,
this is not
man,
common
you
for
are
me,
making
and I've
so
not tried this
hard.
before.
I mount the druid.
So here's the thing though. Seen horses, never turned into a horse before, but I have seen from the Underdark a lot of
16.
giant riding lizards and spiders. So I'm just thinking that there's a chance this doesn't go as well as it could, because
Are you
like
gonna try and turn into a horse, or are you gonna try and turn into a spider?
I'm gonna try and turn into a horse, but like riding lizards are the go in the Underdark. So let's I'm gonna
Test
go.
your memory. Give me a raw wisdom.
Don't you? That's a 12 plus 4 is 16.
Horse.
Horse.
A ruddy brown and mottled white horse.
He's got like the
appears before you.
dreadlock mane. It's like it looks like a stone horse. I'm
With
putting it out there.
And it still has
mushroom-shaped
mushrooms.
spots in it.
The little mushroom
Alright, so
shape.
who is riding Augustus?
I tried to mount him
were-
before he even transformed. I was hoping to. Whoa!
Give me a dexterity
Ride the
roll.
wave.
Bernard. Because we were the lightest, I guess. Because she's got armor. You.
I mean, if we have to have 2 to a horse, I think that
Leather?
you 2 are the.
Oh, you
If anyone has to share with Spear, it should probably be you.
No, I'm
No
thinking.
one shares.
Yep, I know how you feel, buddy.
Yeah, this is, this is awkward.
Great
We
old
have
lady.
3
Yeah.
horses, correct?
Yes.
And we also have 5 people and a bunch of, like,
So
6 people.
I think
essentially.
I'll ride by myself.
I'm taking the corpse.
I
You
think
want to
I'll.
take the corpse?
I guess I'll take the corpse.
Alright.
All right,
Is it a
Lynn.
corpse? Yeah.
It's a
No, it's a thrashing. It's a thrashing undead creature with claws wrapped in a blanket.
Okay.
I feel like you're possibly the best suited for this, being the paladin.
Lynn, you're with me. Let's go.
I'll take care of
Let's
it.
all ride.
I can deal with
Yeah.
some
So-
dead
So
Grab
she
the
wouldn't
alcohol.
share with the
Alright.
halfling, but she's going to share with Grandma Apple.
So you take
Lippity
Primus You two are riding Augustus, and you two are riding Secondus.
Secondus.
All right, great. And you head off. And
But
order...
Buddy is like holding on to my ears.
Uh-huh.
It's like up the very top, just holding on.
Yeah, Buddy's just sitting there. Little fungal guy with a mushroom top head and little nubbins sticking out, some semblance of a face on his abdomen. He says as he rides, his spores flying in the wind. Yeah, so you guys head off as best you can. Who's leading?
I will.
So,
It is my quest. We're
So we have
navigating.
Saria and Lynn, followed by
So-
yeah, 1, 2, 3.
No. I think Grandma Ethel, if she has a little
Yeah,
turn.
she should be
Yeah,
in the
no,
middle.
you're right.
All right, so Grandma Ethel's in the middle with Spear,
And then we're
and you guys go. Cool. All right. How fast are you going? So obviously you're restricted somewhat by the snow, but are you pushing yourself at as fast a pace as you can?
Secondus, I got to ask you a question. Primus, I need to ask you a question. We've got 4 of those woodsmen heading ahead of us, and they're looking to do some bad things to some good people. We need to catch them fast. You reckon you can plot a way through this snow?
Yeah.
We
You
gotta-
guys can give me a persuasion roll or animal handling, whatever is better.
That will be a 22.
So you guys, 3 riders, you obviously roll for yourself, but Spear, you'll need to roll an animal handling check. You get it with advantage, and Nariko, you also get the animal handling check with advantage. Oh, wait a second. You're riding Augustus.
Yeah.
We
well,
are on.
it wasn't at 20.
Well, you handle it. You've never been handled like you were handled
You are
tonight.
I told
You
you
ride
guys
in the moonlight.
I didn't need a saddle.
Can I have this?
If it's
15.
Yeah, you bear back like a champ.
I have +3.
Hold on,
I mean, it
hold
makes
on.
sense that I'd be riding behind.
You do not ride a druid. He transports you.
I want to stand.
18 for
I want to
Secondus.
stand in front of you on your back and do the whole "I'm king of the world" arm spread.
All right, so in all the kerfuffle, you guys have lost about sort of 15 minutes. 15 minutes. You're already 10 minutes, so it's been about 25 minutes behind these guys.
And it's a 4 hours?
4 hours out there. But that's a 4-hour walk. So theoretically, at the pace that you guys are making, which is quite good, you should be able to get out there sooner.
Okay.
You are riding, and you can all make perception tests with disadvantage because of the speed that you're going.
15.
18.
All right, with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Four.
20,
I got a nat 20 on my other one.
20.
Okay.
6.
So who's first? So sorry, you're riding ahead, and you start to see some shapes moving in the forest to the left and right, and it's not nearly as far out as you thought it would be. It's only like 30 minutes out.
Okay, shapes is in, like...
Figures, humanoid figures.
Alright, I'm just gonna yell back to everyone. I'm just gonna yell back, like, very directional.
Awesome.
We've got some figures up ahead. Don't know if it's friend or foe.
Because of your astute perception, everybody can roll initiative.
Yay.
Oh, that's joyous.
Better than the last one.
Can I have the cards back quickly so that I can hand them out again?
Just hand them out amongst yourselves. I'm not going to be in that order because unless somebody rolled less than a 5. Did anyone roll less than a 5?
Roll them. No?
6. No, I had 3 on the dice.
So no. Alright.
11.
11?
19.
Anyone above 19?
He's a quick horse.
18, 17, 16, 15, 14,
13.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Awesome.
Alright, so because of your, again, excellent perception rolls, you guys were able to see this guy. This guy.
Made an ambush, have they?
This guy. Yeah, it would appear they are in fact waiting in ambush. And you guys are going down the rather narrow trail. I'm just going to use. I don't unfortunately have you guys mounted at the moment, so I was not anticipating this. But in this case, we will have the lead horse, which is Saya and Lynn, secondus, and then the pack horse will be the one that's being carried by and the third horse. With Grandma on it, yeah. Alright, so there you guys are. So you're currently traveling at 40 feet a turn at this point on the horses in the snow.
Alright.
And it is, well, Augustus. What are you doing? You are currently this horse, and you are carrying Nariko and Berna.
And they have definitely seen us.
Yes, they've definitely seen
They
you.
have
And
a
if they didn't see you before, when Saria shouted out, "There's an ambush ahead," and pointed in the direction of where she saw them, and you guys all very easily understood what she was saying and where they are, they now are painfully aware of where you are. Plus, moonlight shines.
You ready to go? I charge.
Which way are you heading?
Away from any place traps and danger, pivoting towards them safely. No, directly for them.
Okay, cool. Make a wisdom perception test.
No.
Alright, cool. Make a... So you get to about here, make a dexterity saving throw
And I'm sorry, I'm heading towards them.
towards this guy.
Which one?
There's two.
Whoever's close. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the guy behind the tree.
So there's a guy
Whoever's
here,
closest.
a guy here, a guy here.
Yeah, so
So you
that's
start...
But he's the back horse, is he not?
I thought Augustus was in the...
No, no,
I'm
no,
not
back
here.
horse.
Secondus is in front.
Okay.
Augustus is
So
the back.
you're here.
okay. So I'm heading towards that guy.
Okay, so you get to about here.
So 50 feet of movement.
50 feet?
Oh,
That's it.
it's 60 feet for a riding horse.
Okay, cool. They're at 40 at the moment because of the impediments of the sun.
Okay.
So, yes, you get to there. And 2 is Nariko.
So there's one, I guess, roughly in front of us.
Well, yeah, you're on the horse that's charging him, so.
Yeah.
Well, then I will try
I
and
will put you guys where you are. So,
get it with Eldritch Blast because it's still a distance away. Just to try. Oh!
Holy hit.
Nat 20.
yeah. From horseback and everything.
Great.
You're actually... Well, you're not riding... Oh, you're riding Augustus. So you're actually not even thinking about riding the horse at this point. Plus, you made that amazing roll. You guys have like this beautiful synergy going on. You've never had this experience of union between you and another person before.
Who'd have thought that I like being ridden so much? I've been transporting people across ground.
All right, awesome. So yeah,
So we're just doubling the dice.
yeah, for damage, sure.
That's a whole 8 plus 4.
8 plus 4, so have you doubled that?
It's twice as many dice.
So I just rolled 2 dice.
Yes.
Sorry, that's what I was asking.
In total the damage, please.
12.
Awesome. So he blasts in Eldritch Bolt, yes. Blasts in, smashes into the tree. It's like, ah! Screams out. Is that your action?
That is my action.
Number 3. I'm leaping from that horse from the druid.
Yep.
To try and sort of tumble down to the ground.
You land up to about chest height in snow.
Okay. I'll actually crouch down.
But you land softly, you don't have to make a dex check.
And then I cast create bonfire under that guy. Under his tree, under the tree.
Alright, he easily sidesteps the fire that slowly starts. And he's what the fuck?
Well, he's taken D8 anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry, he's got to make a dexterity save to get
He
out
did.
of there. Oh, he made this dex.
Yeah.
No damage.
Yes, no, he stepped to the side and he's like, what? Is that you?
That's me.
Alright.
Alright, I point my finger at the guy who's...
You're currently still on the back horse. This is the
Yeah,
horse moving.
so we
Are you
move the
riding
horse,
the horse?
to the front, like in line with the front horse.
Yep. Through this way.
Maybe more on the right. Like, yeah, that way.
So you come around here.
And then can I jump off? Oh no, people are still on their horses, aren't they?
People are, well, Noriko's still on the horse. Bernard's just jumped off the horse. You've jumped off the inside, the trail side. Bernard, Pete,
Yo.
you jump off the inside of this side of the horse or this side of the horse?
I was thinking the outside of the horse, so I'm not going to be trampled by the charging horses.
Okay, cool.
I'm getting off the path.
I don't get off the horse, but I clutch my holy symbol as I point a finger.
The one that's branded onto your chest.
Yeah. As I point my finger to
So there's one.
that guy's within like 60 feet, right?
This one definitely is. Yeah, for
that
sure.
guy. And a bell.
Just for reference, guys, that is 50 feet. 10, 20, 30. Oh, sorry. 10, 20, 30. That's 40 feet. So 50 feet's a little longer than that.
Cool.
Toll the dead, or
Yeah, Toll of the Dead.
Oh, she speaks the herding word too.
yeah.
You kiss your mother with that mouth?
So
Sorry.
he fails the saving throw and do damage.
Great.
Should be a D12 there too.
Should be a D. Oh yeah, it has taken damage,
It
so
has.
it is a D12.
Yeah.
The herdy word.
Right. 6. And that's my turn.
Sort of rattles, just like leans down and clutches his ears as a sound echoes out through the trees in the night. It's you,
I can't see.
Spear. You're currently here on your own horse. You're riding the horse, as it were, and you're in the back. There's an enemy here, an enemy here, an enemy here, here, and
They're
here.
all still up.
All still up.
Okay. I'm gonna ride for this one over this way.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah. So make a animal handling check as you careen off the road through the forest.
Sure. This works out. 17, no, 18.
Fine. Yeah, you like through the trees and you get to this distance.
And then I throw a javelin.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, make the attack roll.
20.
Yep, that's gonna hit.
Awesome.
I certainly hope so.
Well, he's not in cover.
Cool. 8 damage.
Okay, thuds into his shoulder. He sort of quickly pulls it out, a spray of blood. Well, he pulls it out, and in the moonlight, you see that there is no blood on the tip of the weapon. No blood leaks out of his body. He just pulls it out, throws it aside.
He's gone full tuber.
Sunday.
6. That's you. So, Lynn?
I'm going to yell out at them. You call that an ambush that Pusher Black could have seen that coming. And I'm going to turn to Noriko and say, Noriko, do that again. That's inspiration.
Excellent. So, you now get D4 to all of your attacks, is that right?
No, but
That would
actually,
be
You get
guidance,
one
inspiration.
dice that you
yeah,
can just add to
D6 to...
Add to, and does that go for damage as well, or just attack and...
Just one to one thing.
Yeah, just one thing.
Do you want
Awesome.
not damage?
No,
One ability
yeah.
check, attack, roll, or saving throw. And also the first one was Vicious Mockery.
Yep. Okay, cool. So that's a saving throw as well.
Mhm.
And on who? You want to go for this closest one or the one over here?
I'll go for the one that's closest to us.
Yeah. And how much damage does it do? It fails to save.
It does. Where's my D4? Sorry. Whole 1 damage, but it also has a side effect, which is the point.
So the next person to attack him is going to get advantage.
Other way
He has
around.
disadvantage on his next
He has
attack roll.
disadvantage. Okay, cool. Which is poignant because it is in fact his turn. In this instance, he is going to duck back. So he ducks back, hiding behind this tree, leans out and fires a shot from a bow. It's got a long bow. Fires it from behind the tree into his closest target, which is he's actually going for you. Very cool. What's your armor class at the moment?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. It depends. I would have picked up a small shield. Would have had time to sort of pull it out.
You're currently. Well, what were you doing? You just did a spell, so you can still have your sword sheathed. I mean, your swords magically appear in your hands anyway, so you could be carrying a shield if you want to.
I'll do that, and we'll go with 15.
Okay, cool. In which case, he still hits on a 16. So longbow doing D10 damage. So he does 8 points of damage, and you need to make actually +2, so it's a total of 10, and you can make an animal handling roll or dexterity roll, your choice, to stay on the horse.
Does she have advantage because I'm helpful?
Yes, you have advantage because you have an amazing bond.
Well, that wasn't too bad regardless. So animal handling, so advantage is 18.
Alright. And he ducks out of sight behind that tree trunk. Well, out of sight at least from this group of people. Spear, you could probably see him through the trees on this angle at the moment. And these guys?
Is he... Okay, he's not near the bonfire, is he? That tree's about to set on fire, right?
It's a damp tree in the middle of winter in a snowy environment. It'll take some time before you put it on the ground in the snow.
Please do not set the tree on fire. I have a list of things I would like to do today, and setting a tree on fire is quite
this one just sort of strafes across, looking to line up a shot against Saya.
Not me.
Natural 20.
My god will protect me. It'll be fine.
It's true. Oh, it's so true. He only rolled 3 on the d10. So you only take 8 points of damage from that critical hit. But you also have to make your choice of dexterity or animal handling roll to stay on the horse. You're maintaining your pace.
Yeah, I'll just do a dex. Like a dex save?
Yep. Dex save or animal handling roll, whatever you're best at.
14.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. So you manage to keep yourself and everything in position on the horse as you go. This guy runs out into the path about here. He's also going to shoot for Spear, missing. Not Spear, sorry. Saria. And this one sees you coming, Spear, and ducks over here, trying to get a bit of distance, and also shoots at you. What's your armor class at the moment? Glances off your shield, flies off into the night, and that's them. Unless there's one. Oh no, there's still this guy. He's just so shady I couldn't see him at all. So he's coming out, also pops into the trail, and sees his friend is in trouble, and is also going to try and shoot at you, so he can get line on you from there. And that's a D10. He hits. He rolled natural 18, so 8 points of damage to you.
How dare you?
How fast are these guys moving in the snow?
Average speed. Average speed around the trees, but as soon as they get into the trail, they're slowed down.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they're particularly snow capable.
It's not that they're snow capable, they're just sticking to the trees so they know where all the roots are, and they seem to be moving in that manner. And we're going back at the top of a round. It's you, Gus.
I'm going to charge towards that. Will I be able to make it?
You can make it to this guy behind the tree. So you're still carrying Noriko.
Mm-hmm.
So you come to this side of the
I'm
tree.
going to move just past him.
Yep.
And then I'm going to boot him in the back of the head with my back legs.
Awesome. Make an attack roll.
Or not.
Okay. He's crouches in the snow as your feet fling wide. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
But unbeknownst to him, that the feet fling wide, but there's just trails of spores that crackle off the back.
And how much damage do your ambient spores?
You make a Constitution saving throw
Uh,
against con of...
Do your riders also make this?
No,
Okay, good.
it's only enemies.
DC 14.
No, he passes. He's fine. Doesn't seem to affect him. The fungal spores lurch in, but it seems like they are fighting against other foreign bodies in his system. The anti-fungus.
These aren't fun guys at all.
They might be having too much fun. All right. Brings us to Noriko. So you're right next to this guy because you're on top of Gus. You're now within 5 feet of this guy who's.
Well, then I'll pull out my sword. That's probably not a bad idea. But I'm not actually going to attack because of me. I'm going to cast the magical mage armor. That's one.
Yep.
So I forgot to cast it earlier. That's my bad.
That's okay.
But I'll also do a bonus action and cast the Hexblade Curse on the dude next to me.
All right. Cool. It's on him. He's
It is
now
on him.
cursed. Long shadows draw across his body. The gaunt face of death can be seen in his own.
What does it do to you?
It gives me a +2 to damage rolls
Oh, yeah.
Against that target.
against that target. And if he dies, I get some trouble. Not a bad trouble.
All right. Awesome. So, we now go on to Bernard. You're halfway, you're chest deep in the, or at least belly deep in the snow. But you're next to some trees, and you can see that there are sort of roots protruding from the trees, and if you walk on them, you won't be so hindered.
I will step onto the roots, but still crouching kind of low in the snow. More for thematic thing than any practical cover. And I am actually kind of getting worried. I have tried to do things without using the hurting words, and then Sai is busting it out surprisingly.
I know what you mean.
Just cussing all over the place.
And this would be the first time I've used it against a living being that wasn't a wolfish entity. Have you guys told us that these people are undead? Are we aware of this? Across this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've let everyone.
Okay, so it's not really people. They're probably undead, then, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Well then,
Most
my moral inhibition is
Melt away.
yeah. I'll just
Let's
toll that guy and say,
Which one? This one? So he's the one you've already hit before. He's sort of like turning around. The horse sort of swings by. Spores are around his body. This Noriko's come in and sort of hacks him. The shadow of death is upon him, and then he hears the bell again. He rolls up and just. And you see the shadows of the Hexblade curse consume his very soul, and he dies before you, shriveling to the ground, the last of his life essence, ushering from his body in a gasp of steam.
Points back.
I did that?
Yes.
No.
I remember this something similar happening to a hellhound that you hit with a spell at one point.
Maybe I shouldn't use this spell. I'm having second thoughts.
Saya, you're up.
Alright, did that guy just die?
This guy just died. Yep,
sick.
and you're over here at the moment.
Alright, I'm gonna start charging down the road then. It's just go as far as I can.
Yep. As you trample past, you realize you're trampling over a slack rope that is now being operated by nobody.
Hooray!
You arrive at that point.
Awesome. Now that guy hiding in the tree. Oh!
So you've got
no, they're not
this
close
guy
enough
here,
together.
you've got this guy here, and 1, 2, 3, 4. at
How
the
far are
moment.
those two away from each other?
They're
like 10, 15 feet, right?
15 feet exactly between them. A bit over, a bit under.
That's all good. I'm just gonna love myself and let a bit of glow happen and cast Cure Wounds.
Alright, cool.
That'll be my turn.
So going back.
Self-care is not selfish.
Spear.
Where?
So you're over here at the moment?
So I'm in riding distance of that guy.
Absolutely, yep. So this is 40 feet here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull out my sword
Mhm.
and ride for that guy to swing it. Take a swing at him.
Awesome. Yep. So you got so blazing through the wood. and Spike.
11. Oh no, wait, that's not what that is. That's a 19. 24.
Yeah. Sword connects easily with his clavicle. Make a damage roll.
Seems right. 7.
Alright. Again, it cuts into him. Again, you see this lack of blood as it sort of cuts in through his light leather armor into his shoulder and sort of arcs in the air. Nothing but a fine mist of black spores. Is that your action?
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I keep moving?
That was the extent of your horse's movement.
Then I will finish it.
Lynn?
I can see all of them from where I am, yes?
Yeah, you've got eyes on everyone. This one is slightly obscured because of Noriko's horse.
How far are they from me?
They are, this one's like about 70, 60 feet. This one's just 30 feet. And these guys are also about sort of 60. Oh no, this one's like 40 feet and that one's like 60 feet.
Ah, pity.
Also,
Great pity.
rude, not Noriko's horse.
August.
Noriko's horse has
Yeah. In that case, I will simply yell some more mockery.
To which target?
Whichever is closest.
Okay, the one that Spear has just hit.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a wisdom saving throw. What's his target number?
13.
He passes. Does he still take some damage or none at all?
Nothing, no effect.
Just like scream off in his direction. It's like that guy who drives by in a car and yells out the window. You just don't quite catch what he's shouting, so the insult never sinks in. These guys. So this guy over here is gonna try and slow down Noriko, and she's gonna shoot Noriko's horse. I mean Gus, and misses. Arrow flies wide. This guy over here drops his bow, pulls out a short sword, and goes to shove it in the flank of Spear's horse. He hits and does 5 points of damage to the horse. The horse screams and bucks. So you need to make an animal handling test, Spear.
Natural 20.
Not only do you keep the horse under control, it also gets an attack of opportunity against him. Yeah.
It's 11.
It misses, but you know, awesome horse.
Just saying, horses have a +5.
Really?
Yes.
And it totally hits him. How much damage do they do?
That'd be 2d4 +3.
It's almost more damage.
Fucking hell.
Do
yeah.
not piss off Gus and his bronies.
Don't get into a fight with a horse. It's terrible.
It does 8 damage.
Right. The horse kicks him to the side and he fully gets knocked aside 5 feet away from you.
Go, Primus, go!
Good boy. The pet.
He's like wringing
Good
his
horse.
head. He's lying face down in the snow at the moment,
You
but
really
he seems
want
to
us
still be
go for a
moving.
ride, huh?
Alright, so this guy and these two both are taking shots at the horse that's coming straight towards them. So
Now they realise the horses are the
Team,
threat.
what's your armor class, Simon?
My armor class is
You better watch out.
14.
First shot misses, second shot hits. And does 11 points of damage to you.
To me?
Yeah, to you. Are you the one riding the horse, sitting at the
Yes.
front?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Yeah, it goes straight in.
Cool.
And again, make an animal handling roll and stay on the horse.
Yep.
Do I also need to do that thing if I'm also on
Got
a
a
horse?
weapon.
No, you're not riding it.
Sorry, how much damage was that?
If she fails,
11?
then you will.
11,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Alright.
Oofed.
Let's do this. That would be 19.
Yeah, you're fine. You said, take the bolt, keep on riding.
No one can keep me from my mission.
It's true. There's a holy woman out there in the woods who needs your assistance. Alright, cool. So we're going, that's their turn. We're going back to the top of the round. Augustus.
Whereabouts is Nuko's horse? Yeah, that guy.
You mean Augustus?
Yeah, that guy. To go on the edge of the map, he looks like he needs
This one?
to. Yeah, he needs a bit of rough and tumble.
Alright. So, you turn. You've done your kick, stop and your kick, and now you ride straight towards him.
I'm going for see if I can shake his hand with my hoof.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 19 on the dice. I'm going to assume that's going to.
It's absolutely going to hit. So you do your horsey hoof damage of doom. Wow. 5,
6, 7, 8 damage.
Okay.
And then he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Or he passes, but or what?
Or spores.
Oh, for you. Okay, no, he's fine. These people seem to be reasonably resistant to your fungal invasions.
It's not as fun as it could be.
Okay. And that's your action?
Yes, yeah, I'm done with this.
Cool. Noriko, you've just been ridden into 5 feet of your next enemy.
Yahtzee.
I'm glad you go first. I really am. It works out well.
You guys are like a match made in heaven.
That's what that natural 20 was for.
Yeah, awesome.
So I'll use my inspiration dice and I'll try and hit him with my one sword.
Mm-hmm.
Which didn't really make a difference now. Too sad. That wasn't that one on this dice.
Sorry. Well, you swing wide. It's,
What a waste.
you were expecting to take a swing at him, but instead Augustus sort of rears off and boosh, boots the guy, and he just gets out of the way as you swing through. Is that you done? Do you want to transfer your Hexblade's curse, or can you?
I don't think I can. I think it's just that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Better for big monsters, I guess.
I get healed. That's happy with me.
Yeah, true.
Are you sure you can't transfer it? That would seem odd.
I'm
Bernard.
pretty sure you can.
Yeah, can you just turn the map slightly so I can see my line of sight to the nearest enemy, which I think is the one that's either...
So you can, just through these trees, you can see this guy over here, and you can also see the one that Spear is attacking over there.
I think he's going to be out of range. If I can follow the tree roots and move as far as my little halfling legs will allow me on a single move to get towards
if you make
the...
a successful survival roll.
Yeah, no props. That's a 10.
Not quite. So you're still moving. It still counts as difficult terrain wherever you move. So you're
Just
moving-
advance me as far as I can get with my movement
What's
of
that?
25.
That's half, right? No. You're moving 25. Okay, 15. So you move to the other side of these trees. You're trying to get closer to this guy.
I'm trying to get as close as possible to that guy, and then
Yep.
am I within 60 feet of him?
Yes, you are.
What I'm basically doing is walking around. I'm going all serious now. This is not happy burning.
Oh no.
This is feel the burning.
Feel the burning.
And I'm going to just kind of walk around behind and just mop up all these injured people with the...
Has the time
ending
come
mode.
to pay the toll?
It's time to pay the toll.
You use hurting word.
Yeah. Oh, there. Boom.
Okay. Again, this bell sounds out. You all hear the a little bit of snow shakes off the fronds of the trees as they shake.
So it's a will save.
He passed. He failed. Sorry.
He failed.
Yeah. This guy
Okay,
did.
cool. Then he's looking at... he's injured, yes?
Yes.
3 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely unhappy with that. All right. So he shakes, holds his ears. We're going to 4.
Yeah.
Is Sarya.
So did we say we could cast a cantrip and a spell on the
Yes,
same
you can
turn?
cast a cast, but it has to be prompted by. So they have to be prompted by different actions.
Yes.
So you,
So
but you
a
can
bonus cantrip.
a bonus cantrip
yes,
or a
The thing
reaction
is
spell.
never more than one spell in a round.
Yep.
Not a turn, a round.
A round.
Yeah.
And a cantrip doesn't count as a spell.
No.
Cool.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, as I'm so blessed by my gods, I'm going to cast Sanctuary onto me.
Mhm.
So essentially they have to make a willpower, I think it's a willpower save to attack me.
Okay, cool. Just keep me reminded of that.
Yep. And I'm also going to, as my bonus action, cast... No, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to move the horse up. There's no way I can be
Did you want to reverse those actions?
No, I want to. No. Can you please move the horse? Is there a way it can be 30 feet away from all three of those people?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
What about this guy? Don't care about that guy?
Don't care about that guy.
Yep. So you turn the horse and come over here. And you are... Yeah, you're more than 30 feet away from all of them at that point.
No. I want to be within range at 30 feet
Oh, yeah.
of all of them.
Yeah, easy. Just move to here.
Yeah, sick.
And then I think... no, you can only get 2. You only be able to get either these 2 or these 2.
That's fine. We'll go for these 2 in front of us. I'll just get a little bit... Do you want to be within hitting range? I'll get as far as I can up. Actually, there is good. Don't move.
You can get a little bit
You are
farther.
aware that if you attack or cast a spell, your turn ends, right?
I am aware.
Okay, good.
Alright, cool. And that's you?
Yep.
Alright, so... Spear.
I'm in battle.
So you're currently engaged with this guy, but you can keep on riding if you want. You did knock him 5 feet away from you, so he won't get attack of opportunity if you decide to keep on going.
Who else is around?
You are... There's
There.
1, 2, and then there's this guy on the far side.
Yeah, I can't really get to the far one, so I'll hit the guy in front of me. I'll take another swing at him.
Alright, cool. So you rear your horse up, swing down with your blade.
And I miss.
Alright.
Confident miss.
Happens to the best of us.
You sort of think about it and think, man, if there's only something I could do where I could get my horse to attack at the same time, that would be great. But, yeah, maybe another time. Alright, so, and
Riding that
Lynn.
druid.
So, having seen Primus's incredible act of precision, I'm going to yell at the one in front of me. They should send the horses out without you. They might be more likely to catch something on a hunt.
Alright. And that's, I'm assuming, Vicious Mockery?
Yep.
Alright, so he succeeds.
Oh well. Not on my game today,
He's too
apparently.
busy leveling his arrow at you.
That's fair.
Which comes to their turn. So this one is just going to attack the horse, which is closest to him. He sort of misses. You're all like hooves all in his face. And he's sort of like swinging with a short sword across the front of your flank. Over here, a spear. This one's going up for you. It's like shing. Doesn't even like just between the horse's hooves and your shield in his face. He's not getting anywhere, but he's moved back into close proximity. Over here, these 2 are shooting at you, Saya. So what's their deal?
So they have to make a Wisdom 13 saving throw, and they can either hit someone else if they fail, or they can waste the spell, essentially.
They both sort of looking at you and just must be the moon shining behind them, glancing straight into their eyes, and they aim low for the horse instead. Both shots fly wide, thudding into the snow either side of you as you careen forwards. Augustus, what do you do?
How's this guy looking in front of me?
Not very well. He's got some large gashes across his forehead from where your hooves have smashed into him.
I'm gonna try starting with a little bit of the spore action.
But he doesn't bleed, just, again, this black.
I'm the
Unnatural.
optimist.
Unnatural. Get him, boys. Send the spores after him. So it's a Constitution saving throw of DC 14.
I haven't rolled anything less than 17 on any of the saving throws against your spores so far. All I can say is that the narrative taking control of my dice.
I think I would rather if you would sporadically roll low.
You've been saving that one, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And so that is a
Sure. Viewers can
12?
rewind through the video and see him come up with it. Hold on to it.
Are you striking at him?
yeah.
Your total of 12?
Yes.
Alright, cool. You just miss. He sort of like rolls to the side. Alright, Nori.
Oh, I'm gonna start moving
Yeah, which way do you want to go?
away because I'm assuming that you can just Eldritch Bolt that backwards. So towards the next chunk of action.
Alright, so you come out through the... Do you want to go around this group of trees or this way?
Am I quicker bounding through the trees?
Not on the horse. No, it's actually
Not on the horse,
it's-
I am the horse.
You find better footing, but you can't see the obstacles. So if you go you can go full speed through the trees, which is your 50,
60.
but you'd have to make a dexterity test to try not to trip yourself up.
I mean, that sounds so much more fun, right?
Great, make
Yeah.
a dexterity roll.
Natural 20.
Prance.
I'll give you 70 feet of movement as you careen away from him. He does, however, get an attack of opportunity. What's your armor class?
16.
It's a 19.
Ooh.
So he swings at you with the short sword, doing 8 points of damage. He cuts into your back leg as you leap out of there.
That man is an asshole.
But 40, 60. You can. Where do you want to go? Do you want to get behind these guys?
Yes.
Natural 20, you should like bound through the forest, and then suddenly these guys are looking over here.
I still want to keep that guy in line of sight, though. I want the
Do you
killer to
want
be able
to-
Oh, we
to
can
shoot at
focus
him.
on the next guy. It's fine.
Up to you.
You're the
I
horse.
want to be able to move towards them and keep him in line of sight.
All right, then you end up here, and they're all within line of sight, unless you want to keep obscuring yourself from those guys.
Yeah, I'll excuse myself from the up and comers.
So you're bounded through the woods. You've just done this ultimate stealth. And
Blood on the
Noriko,
snow.
you like turn behind,
Yes. I will attempt my
cock your fingers.
on elvishness. Or I won't. I'm gonna go.
He sees, he's like slashes, picks himself up in your direction, going for his bow, sees your finger, and then just goes boom and throws himself in the snow as the blast explodes on the tree behind him. Right. You, Bernard, can you keep? Yeah.
Stand out of the snow hole, keep walking grimly as I am, following through the tracks that he's left behind.
Mhm.
And just bong, another bong,
Towards
another.
him.
Just walking through the
Alright.
finishing hole.
Cool. He's so he's looking. He ducks, boom, goes to the snow, raises his head, looking up, turns around, sees you. Roll damage.
12.
Yeah.
Sees you as like. "Ah!" You see his eyes start to bulge and bug out of his head, and they pop, and one of them rolls down as an puff of black fungus explodes to the right of his head as his fingertips start to disintegrate as he falls to the ground.
Necrotic damage,
In the
self high
snow.
five.
Boom! Yeah,
I
that's,
see you're getting over your fear of wanton murder.
Yes.
You just like steady walk
You're like
of
cleaning
doom.
up the fields.
So we are at Saya.
Yeah, so I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. And that will be do we see Buddy? We don't see Buddy behind the trees, do we?
No, you do. He's like.
Alright, I'm just gonna move. We're gonna. You wanna go engagement distance?
You don't need to cure me.
I'm
if that's where you're
100%
coming from.
range, so.
I'm curing myself.
Okay.
Thank you. There's no like.
Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish.
I'm actually just gonna move like a little bit around, keep out of engagement distance, just move more towards like me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you want to come over this way?
Yeah. Just to kind of put them. Can you move us just a little bit? Sorry. Can you move us kind of so they're in the middle between where and Gus is about to appear?
So if Gus is around
Yeah.
here. you
Yeah.
wanna
So
be-
put us like just move us a bit. Yeah. There.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you're able to get over here without too much of an issue. All right, cool. Yeah, you head over that way and spear. You're still engaged with this guy over
Still
here.
engaged with this guy.
Yep.
I'll hit him again.
Cool. Make a
Maybe
roll.
this time. Who knows?
But you can but try.
I don't know what I
It
did.
wasn't
Was it? Okay. I can't see this dice. You're much better at it than me. So 13.
All right, cool. So it just hits.
Nice.
Oh. So damage didn't run down, so not 4 damage.
All right. So again, you're sort of careening around, and you come back again. He sort of comes up. He's going in for another lunge at the horse. And you just thrust out with your long sword. It goes straight into his eye socket and he's like falls back, clutches at your blade. You pull it out, a few of his fingers fall off, and he sort of like clumps to the ground and collapses into the snow.
Thanks.
You can still
One
take a
and done.
movement action if you like.
I'll ride towards these last two.
Screw you, heavy! I don't know, what do you scream as you come out of the woods?
Probably not
Yeah, that makes sense.
Horse Gus does not like the sound.
that.
Alright, and then we're on Lynn.
I'm going to keep to the tried and true, or in this case, mostly false tactic of yelling mockery at them.
Totally abusive people.
This is what
Band
I
of
do.
adventurers and an angry grandma.
I'm just gonna yell at them. Ha! I see why you don't take the horses. You're clearly scared of them. Being as they failed to shoot it.
Yeah, it fails this time. Roll damage.
3 points of damage.
Yeah.
He just like goes, what? And as he turns his neck, you hear this crack, crack. He's like,
Criticised his aim.
I mean, you guys don't know why you're bringing me along. I don't think that useful, but it works.
Alright, cool. And these two now seeing a new threat presenting itself front and center. Actually, this one you've just yelled something at him. He's genuinely offended, so he's going to take a shot at you, Lynn. It misses, obviously distracted.
Criticise my aim, will you? Oh.
Next time I'll accuse him of being afraid of me.
And this one's going for a spear, so that's a 20. So he's definitely going to hit you, unless you're...
Damn it.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
So he has 12 points of damage to you.
I'm down.
Okay.
That's
So you sort of like ride out. You're careening, you're riding straight towards them as fast as the horse will go through the snow. And the bolt. You all see Spear. She's just like leaning back, just like
What was it to hit?
starting to fall out of the saddle. The horse keeps going, but she's like sort of falling backwards off the horse. Shield, sword, falling back.
Bed reader.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. I tied that
It's tied on real good.
the healing burrito.
It's actually
Well put
what's
together.
stopping her, because normally she just fall backwards and then slide off the horse, but it's like this big cushion behind her, just like, sort of rolling on it. Which takes us to the top of the round.
All right.
You're all the way over this side.
All right. I just saw the unfortunate, didn't I? That's unfortunate.
You can't really make a perception roll to see if you can see that.
Nope.
No, you're just on the other side of this batch of trees and you can't really see what's going on.
That guy looks like he needs his clavicle kicked in, so I'm gonna go that way.
So, yeah. You come out, he's like, what? Let's see if he is aware of you. Yeah, so he's aware of you. He's like, whoa! Turns to you as you sort of jump out of the forest. You launch off a small embankment.
All right, I will just try and ride over him then.
Great, make a trample roll.
That is a 16.
Cool. So that hits. This guy hasn't taken any damage yet, so...
4, 5, 6, 7 trampling damage. Let's see how his spores are doing today. Don't be
This
that guy,
guy?
baby.
19. It's not me, it's the narrative.
Fair enough.
Alright, regardless, Noriko, you're right above this guy.
Alright, well then I will try my best to stab him in the face. That's got a possibility. 18.
Yes, you zapped with the sword, throwing an Eldritch Blast, and then you come back around, and swing through, roll damage.
Oh, bad. A whole 5.
He sort of like ducks down the... Was it a scimitar or a longsword you're fighting with?
Longsword.
The longsword cuts across the top of his back and sort of cuts off a strap that was holding his quiver as it falls to the ground. Sort of like just grabs a couple of arrows out of it before it hits the ground. But yeah, a puff of spores just explodes from his back. And 3 Bernard.
Well, I'm taking my solemn mission of frag stealing quite serious. I grimly throw my cloak over and walk as far as I can, single move,
Yep. that's
towards
about
the
there.
nearest enemy. If I am at 60 feet or less from them at the end of that move, I will tolerate dead them. Boom, another. If not, I will just keep moving.
So you do a dash action and do another 15 feet.
Correct.
So come out to about here. Alright, so that goes back to Saria.
Yeah. I see Spear go down.
Yep, she's like, the horse is going. She's still, like, she's starting to slump off to the side. In horse, you can hear him go, "No, no, no, my rider! Oh, we were so good together!"
Primus! No, I'll come for you soon.
This is gonna be hard. Alright. I take my horse. I wrench around. And I go, I say, take the reins, and then I like get up in a crouch,
Uh-huh.
and then like I'm gonna try to jump onto her horse.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Actually, no, I'm not. That is so hard. I'm never gonna complete it. I'm going to be lame, jump off my horse, and just try to stop Primus.
You just give me a dexterity roll. You are going at speed.
Yep. That's it. 13.
Yeah, no, that's enough. It's not particularly difficult. It's just dismounting. You sort of like sidle off the horse here and make an animal handling roll.
Animal handling. 4.
You're like, whoa, whoa! You sort of go to grab it, and he just like keeps on going past you. He'll move on Spear's turn.
I wanted you to jump.
I wanted me to jump.
I
It would have been so much
I've
worse.
seen how it turned out. I saw how
Oh,
Regardless of which, was that your action? That was your movement action and your interaction. You
I
haven't used-
can't get a healer's kit onto her, so I'm out of spells. So yeah, that's my thing.
Spend all your time selfishly healing yourself.
I know. I'll take out as my action. I'll take out my rapier.
Okay, well, yep. You're now armed and equipped. So on your action, give me a death saving throw.
Let's do it. 5.
Okay, so you're now 1 point closer to being dead. The horse keeps on going, so it just goes through these people, but you, let's just see, slump off, and there is a 15% chance that you will get your foot caught in the stirrup. You do not. You in fact slide off the horse
I didn't
and
careening
you
into that immediately.
land onto the ground in front of these guys. And that is your action.
Sweet.
And it's Lynn.
Spear, no time to be sleeping on the job. Wake up. Healing word. Okay, so that's 5 points of health back.
Sweet.
And that is a bonus action, so I'll also
Amazing.
mock the guy who tried to shoot at me. And I'm just gonna laugh at him and say,
Oh yeah, he gets a critical one. So, you know, it's his critical damage.
"Get old ladies too, huh?"
And how much damage? Well,
A whole one.
to which one?
The one that tried to shoot at me.
Oh yes, that one. Alright, cool. He's like, what? Ah, get you yet! He screams and he notches another arrow in anticipation of shooting, which he does at you. It's for a 20, so...
At disadvantage? Yes.
Oh,
Of
course.
That's what.
13, 40, 17. He still does.
Let's
Managed
say
to
that.
hit you. You do does 9 points of damage to you as an arrow just
Oof.
docks into your shoulder.
Holy shit, these arrows.
Yeah, longbows.
Crazy.
They're
Great,
suck.
great.
Damn these huntsmen. Yeah, thuds into your shoulder. And make a dexterity roll. you are riding the horse now. You
Yes.
have the reins, so it's an animal handling roll to stay on the horse.
That's a 7.
Okay, you take 1 point of damage as you tumble off the horse and hit the ground as it rears up. Hits the ground a couple of times, stands up, back into position, and you're lying prone on the ground.
I still have
Can I
movement.
take a
Can I
talk
get up?
action?
Yes, use half your movement to get up.
And possibly take some sort of cover.
Yeah, you duck behind this tree.
That's good.
Do you mind if I take a talk action?
No.
I'm just like, Secundus, Primus, kick the shit out of these assholes!
Give me an animal handling roll.
Do I have advantage because we've been riding so cool together?
No.
And I saved them from the barn with the evil thing?
No.
Ride them into the snow.
That's
with
a
all
10.
These guys, so.
It's a 10.
Alright, well, the horses are not inclined to fight. It takes a lot of training to make a horse battle hardened. And it goes back to their turn. So, this guy just runs over to Lynn, and is going to try and stick short sword in your face. Misses horribly. Swings,
Lynn.
take a... Not Lynn, Saria.
Sorry.
You take a few steps back in the snow. He sort of swings wide across your throat. And this one is going to turn around and stab into the side of Gus, if possible.
Oh, can I I don't know, make it attack me instead?
No, trust me. Let me wear it.
But he misses, nonetheless. And it goes back to the top of the round. So Gus, this guy's just trying to shank your flank.
I'm gonna kick that guy. Successfully. It was 19 on the dice.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage.
So you just spin around and turn, and you flick out your back legs, and this guy catches him full in the chest. You hear everybody hears the sickening, well, except for Spear. Everyone hears the sickening crunch of. Oh no, you got healing word on you. So even Spear, you wake up to the sound, crunch, 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 ribs cracking. This man is lifted fully off the ground, and then poof, thuds into the ground right next to you. Oh! He thuds into the ground right next to you, coughs, and a puff of black spores comes out of his mouth. Breathes his last, and it slumps to the ground. Open eyes turning to look at you.
Gonna try and use my amazing horse the example of amazing horse prowess. Just how truly deadly and noble these creatures are, to try and re-inspire Secundus and Primus into...
actions are more powerful than words.
Or are they? Because that's still a 10.
They're like, whoa, that was really cool. Yeah, you were really cool. That was cool. Wish I did that. Didn't do that.
You can do it too!
No, people are scary.
It's alright, they're not people. They're kind of just meat plant.
Horses are really just very superstitious, scared little creatures. They are. I don't know if you've ever ridden a horse, but they are fucking weirdos. Yeah. Okay.
The fact that we even can ride a horse fills me with nothing but contempt for it.
So we're on Nariko.
Yes, so who is left?
Did you want to take a move action?
I will
Sorry.
transport Nariko across the ground towards the next unfortunate victim of our adventure.
But you've got range, right?
I do have range, but we'll see if I can
Select the
do.
best horse. You've never seen cavalry work so well. This is what we might be
Knows
like.
where you want to go.
Yeah,
So if you want to win the war, what you're going to do is recruit a bunch of druids.
the ultimate cavalry unit.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Anyway, that is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that totally hits.
It's a different d8. Hopefully it's nice. That's a bit better. Plus 4, so 11 points of damage.
Blazing radiant energy starts crackling along the edge of the sword blade. She rides past. You go right alongside this guy. As he turns around, The sword sweeps down in a low arc, perfectly entering between his shoulder and rib cage, slicing up. A sizzling sound and the smell of freshly cooked vegetables enters the air. He stops for a second, freezes, then slides. His steaming upper torso caking into the snow. And with that, you dispatch the remaining of the woodsmen.
Yay!
Good shot.
Except for the one that was left in town.
Zip that.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
We can deal with
And then I wake up.
It's all right. He didn't get a sausage.
He didn't get a sausage.
Yeah. I'm still walking around as if it's in combat, double tapping the people on the ground.
Yeah, you go around and you make sure that
Another.
I see you do this.
Doom.
And then at some point, I'm just gonna come up and just like pat you on the back and go, "All right, there. let's. Why don't we breathe?
I look up and go, "You really done?"
Gotta do what you gotta do."
I have something to tell you actually now with the woodsman. When we were in the food hall trying to run a distraction while you're getting the horses, there was this strange thing where the woodsman and one of the trop servants, I think, they said something in unison. But it wasn't like two words finishing a sentence, it was all like, you should go back to your thing. So that's like really weird, and I think they're kind of like all.
The same mushroom?
It's all the same mushroom. It's all the same mushroom. That's perfect. So, having killed these mushrooms, we've got to kill.
That
I
mushroom.
look at Gus and then sort of whisper so he doesn't hear. We've got to kill.
Let's deal with that as.
And then there's another toll of the dead. Boom. In the middle of my exposition.
All of these things are like starting to like break apart. You see as he's like tolling the dead, they're like slowly breaking apart more and more, and the veneer of the flesh on the surface just gives way as it pulls apart to more of these black fungal spores, broken only by these fresh large tubers that just sort of like fall out of their bodies.
Smells like cooked veggies. Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, vegetables. Oh, vegetables. All right, so you guys remount your horses. One of your horses, not Gus, has taken some damage.
How much? How bleeding do you look? I mean, I can't do much, but I can do.
We can medicine.
So I try like forward in the snow, back in the snow, and so forward, and eventually it just says, "I'm fine."
All right, so you continue on your way to Astrid's hut.
Mm-hmm.
You ride through the snow. It's probably another hour and a half, but and it's about just past midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning when you finally reach the hut. Upon approach, you don't see any smoke coming out of the cabin. You don't see any light coming out of the cabin. It's just at the end of the trail as it was, but yeah, it is still lit by the moon. The clouds are starting to slowly come back in at this point. But there's no sign of life coming out of the hut at this point.
Should we knock on the door?
Well, it is 1 a.m. or something, and she might just be sleeping. Yeah, let's do it.
The door creaks open. The hut, which is just a one-room kind of hovel, it's very similar in design to a lot of the huts that are around the house, around the village, but it's nestled in the trees, and it's got a thatched roof, and it's two floors, and more of these artful windows. You open the door, and inside, out of the smell of sort of dried herbs and coal, but it looks like a bit of snow sort of blown in, and one of the windows is open, and snow has come in that window as well. The place, quick look around, there are dried herbs, there's vegetables stored here and there, but everything seems cold and frozen, like the air has been let in. This hut has been abandoned for... who's looking in first?
Oh,
I locked on knock the door, so presumably.
Alright, so give me an investigation roll as you sort of like step in and peek around.
14.
It definitely seems like this place has been abandoned for at least a few weeks, if not a month.
Oh dear. I'm gonna look around for any sign of where she might have gone. I don't know, did she leave a note? Going
You
out for
fossick
lunch,
around
we'll be
the
back
place.
in 5 weeks.
Can we all come in and...
Yeah, can you all come in and have a look?
Yeah, you all come in, have a look around, everyone.
I
okay?
will dehorse.
De-horse.
Interesting thing though, because I took a chunk of damage as a horse. When I revert back to human form, that damage just goes away.
You heal?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
the
animal-
horse took the damage.
The horse
not
took the damage,
me.
not the
Oh,
druid.
that's interesting.
So you,
Poor horse.
yeah. So,
So you can't turn into a horse again until you get healed, right?
no, it's fine. I just turned to a different horse.
And now I'm just imagining that every time a druid wild shape some poor animal just gets
That
Just
is-
moved out of existence and delivered to
Druidic-
harm.
Druidic is actually just a very strange form of conjuration and possession.
Alright, so you search around the house. Everyone can make investigation
I
rolls.
got
I'm
a
assuming.
19 on the investigation.
Okay.
And I also
But-
then
but-
close
but-
the windows and start a fire.
Yeah, Bernie, can you pop a bonfire in there?
Natural 20.
Alright, cool. So you're fossicking around and you go, oh, look at that carpet. Gonna give that a shake out. And you go, whoa! And you're like, whoa! There's a trapdoor under that carpet.
There's a trapdoor under that carpet. And I am just feeling the power of everything at the moment, and I open it.
You look down. It's dark.
My dark vision eyes.
Oh yeah, it's dimly lit down there. It's a little wooden ladder. It goes down maybe about 8 feet, and then you see a packed earth floor on the ground. You
Yeah.
need to get in there with leave a little bit of light to sort of see what's going on. You put a bonfire in the hearth. Is that right?
Yeah.
Boom! Light erupts into the room with radiance. You just look down and you see. Make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, just make a wisdom check for me.
Oh, but I do so much better at a wisdom
Okay, then make a
saving
wisdom
throw.
saving throw.
Yep, alright. Oh my god, that was horrible. 9.
You're like, ah! And you're like startled backwards. It's a flapping. The wings, and there's this bird just flying around inside of the room. Flapping around everywhere.
Oi!
My god, deal with
Come-
it, Gus, deal with it, Gus.
Come to me.
Astrid, is
It's
that
okay.
Are you
you?
talking to it?
Yeah. Okay. It's
You
okay.
casting the spell?
Yeah, I'll cast the spell.
So this will be the second time you cast the spell today, yes?
No, this is the first time I cast the spell.
No, you've been talking to the horses.
I had the ritual still up.
Oh, okay, you did it by ritual. So you cast the spell this time.
Yeah.
Okay. And you say, sorry?
I said, Astrid, is that you?
Calm down. It's okay. It's okay. Pop out a finger. We're just here.
It nips you.
Ow! Just, I am
Delicious.
so sick.
Serves you right! Can't go sticking your finger into people's mouths!
I was putting my finger out as a perch.
What do you think I am? Just any old crow of the woods? Starts walking about on the table imperiously, picking up a sprig of things and starting to put them in a bowl.
Well,
It
obviously
won't
not.
Random people coming into my house, messing it up.
To be fair, we have simply lit the hearth and made it a little more homely.
I'm cleaning it up.
How do I know you're not one of those weird fungus people? Look, you're covered in mushrooms.
1, I am a weird fungus person. 2, I'm not one of those weird fungus. Not what? For starters, what do you mean, you people? We are different. There are different types of fungus.
She sort of lets up, flies, and lands on your shoulder. Why can't you be more like this one? Sensible woman. Woman of the woods. Woman of the years. Did you tell her wisdom? Yes. She may not be spiritual like you, but I bet she's got more spiritual bones in her body than you ever could have. Yep.
I was having the impression we had the same.
So, like,
amount
when it
of
starts rubbing its beak against your cheek.
Give it a little pat if it'll let me. No, I'll pro-
This is happening down in the cellar.
No, this is happening in the room with all of
The
you around.
bird came
I
out
am
of the
sitting
little
near the
cellar
fire.
thing.
I am very much in pain.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah.
Oh, you don't look so good over there. You You're a paladin.
Where do you
Considering
keep
what
your
they're using my-
Astrid? Where do you keep your
Well,
healing
so
potions and
much.
stuff? We got a
So
wounded paladin.
you can't hear any of her talking.
Oh, okay. No,
But we
okay.
have seen her moving
I've just-
the herbs around, right?
Yeah, she's
I-
moving herbs around. She's put some herbs in
I'm
a bowl.
assuming Astrid.
Yes.
I may have
Maybe, yes.
I may have accidentally healed the Cooper aunt into. She now needs a healing burrito blanket, not to hurt herself or others.
What is this thing you call burrito? Strange fungus man.
I point out the window to the zombie wrapped in a blanket.
Flies outside. Peck, peck, peck. Flies inside. Flies by the fire next to you. It's cold. Walks over by the fire. There's a beak. She's trying to like move this kind of brick that's kind of like by the fireside. It seems to be a bit broken and slightly dislodged, but she
Can I
doesn't
help
seem
her?
to be able to
Mage
do
hand
it.
it.
Thank you. And then it reaches
She
in.
says thank you.
Yes, we're gonna need you to interpret.
Yeah, Astrid says thank you.
Oh, she speaks.
That's
Why was she
Astrid.
locked in the...
The
what?
bird is Astrid?
The bird is Astrid.
What's the bird that?
Possibly.
Right.
Depends who wants to know.
Why was she locked in
She
the trap
pulls
door?
out.
She's probably hiding.
You look in there, and there's like this little bag of vials. Just like reach in, pull it out.
Yeah, I'll help her.
Yeah. So there's like a little bag, and it's got like 6 vials in it. Make
Can I
a
inspect the vials?
Arcana check.
Sure. 15.
Yeah, they're pretty standard healing potions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. How many
6.
have we got? 6 healing potions.
You want to write that down somewhere, or
Well,
you can
don't take
all
them all.
just
They're
take
hers.
one.
Just drink what you need.
Well,
We're
I didn't
guests
think I
here.
was taking all of them. I was gonna say there are 6 healing potions that she's just.
Astrid, may she have one?
Well, I have no use for them. I'm dead.
Astrid is fun dead. So yes, you can have them.
Astrid.
I'm not undead. She sort of flaps up and starts winging in your face and all
okay.
around you.
I didn't
I'm not
say
undead. What do you
undead.
think
I
I'm
said
pecking at your head?
fun dead. I said fun dead.
I'm not undead. I'm neither of these things.
Okay.
I am temporarily inhabiting my familiar until I find some people who can help me with the task I must finish.
Would any of you who
Astrid?
don't have any healing powers like some of these potions?
Well, we could also take a short rest, and I have a song of rest. So
I'm just letting you know. I don't need all 6 of them.
Share it around. Just share it around.
Can you tell Astrid about the unicorn that talked to me and
Tell
ask
them I
her
understand
was
what
the-
they're saying.
Yeah, she understands what you're saying. She understands. It's okay. She's not that she is only a bird. She is, let's say, life force challenged
That's strange.
at the moment, and currently inhabiting.
Well, Astrid, thank
a
you very
familiar.
much for the healing potions.
Ah!
And also, so if you're undead, how are you a bird?
No. That was a mistake. Not undead. The life force of the obviously wise and powerful Astrid is no longer residing in Astrid's body, but is now residing
In this pretty
in.
birdie? I spoke to a unicorn. Did a unicorn used to be in this forest?
Oh, she spoke to the unicorn. Yes, the unicorn used to be in this forest. A hunter came and killed it. Well, you can't really kill a unicorn. He trapped it. A devilish man. Seems like he was once a druid.
And
Like you! Peck, 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 peck!
Can you not?
Flies over to your shoulder and sits like...
And I might put my hand in
I'm
there
just-
to see if I can feel.
Some infernal asshole killed the unicorn and stuck it on a wall with magic.
Yeah, I know that. So.
What?
What? Well,
He
wait a
was
minute.
once-
It
he
said-
was once
but
a
the
druid.
unicorn told me that. Oh, he was. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
How do
So-
you stop
Yes,
being
he was a
druid?
druid like you.
Oh.
I never caught his name, but
He
he had
was-
the same dirty things they'd leave everywhere. And now...
Okay, so Astrid is also
No,
judgmental and rude.
She gives you...
And
If a crow could ever give somebody stink eye, her eye is stunk, and it is on
it
you.
appears that the druid might have been also a druid of the Circle of the Spore, but not I suppose. And would make sense that perhaps when people of my druidic circle get good enough, we can animate large clouds of corpses and towns. It's a thing. It's just a
So I have two questions.
third natural cycle.
Firstly, Astrid, apparently you had some unfinished business that maybe we could help you with, according to the unicorn. And secondly, what when it comes to the druids of the spore, what do you know about them? What happened to them?
Well, they're around. The last ones that I encountered were, as it appears that sentient creatures are persistently want to do, murderized by some white eagle bastards.
So, that sounds familiar to you?
The white eagle bastards, were they... Hang on,
Eagle?
wasn't
You've never heard of white eagle, but white hawk?
the White Hawks?
I know, they literally butchered the entire circle, not without losses, I might add.
Did you keep the rag?
Oh yeah.
You want to show him? Small, very crude looking white eagle symbol beneath which there's like a white cross. And that is the symbol for the White Hawks. Or it's a White Hawk symbol. Eagle, hawk. It's hard. You could easily mistake it for an eagle, bird of prey. It's a pretty crude emblem, but yes, they call themselves the White Hawks, and they are the mercenary band that you spent some time under the thumb of, being, well, not treated very well.
Well, they're the ones that rescued me from the orcs.
Yeah, rescued you from the orcs.
But the orcs are friendly bad. I think I know those guys. I spent some time.
Well, they are on my list of things to do once I am elsewhere and less jaded or more jaded. Whatever it gets up to.
Sonia, do you continue into the basement?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you walk down the ladder. Sort of the light of the fire now trickles around through the subterranean level. There's not much there. There are sort of various, again, herbs, sticks, configurations, some bones and things like that just hanging around the walls. It seems like some kind of weird juju chamber. It has the smell of musty animal hides and things like that. But you know from your make a religion roll for me.
Yeah. That would be 13.
Yeah, you're not really familiar with much of it, but it doesn't. You don't get the impression that these animals were killed by her. They all seem like old animals that probably died of natural causes or accidents that were then skinned and put around. They're revered in this context and put into like a totem-like context. But on the ground in the center of the floor, there seems to be some kind of ritual circle, like an arcana test.
Not my best skill. Not my best roll for 8.
Yeah, that's all. But you sort of look over and you see in the corner of the room, lying with a hand outstretched towards the center of the circle, is the withered, slightly desiccated corpse of a very old woman.
Alright, cool. I'm just gonna shout out, Astrid? Is that the bird? Is this you down here?
Yes.
Yes.
Question. There's this funky kind of circle ritual thing on the ground. Do you have any insights into that?
Yes. I need someone who is righteous to help me finish it.
Oh, I'm out.
Yep.
Righteous.
What do you
Paladin,
mean by...
Maybe.
I have discovered that this wood has become infected with a rot that I finally discovered the source of. I have a ritual here which will not fully reverse the rot in the wood, but it will keep it at bay. If the source of the rot can be destroyed, then this ritual will take over. And then we'll hope to alleviate this rot from the wood itself. It won't entirely go away, but it will stop the forest from being corrupted.
I don't suppose you know how to eradicate the rot in the people.
I think you have to hit them very hard. Or I'm not sure. I haven't. You say you have one?
Yeah.
We can look at it. I'm just going to, for the purpose of expediency, I'm just going to say that you can all talk to her now. She instructs you in the way to do a little ritual. She just says, "Look, everybody, eat some of this weird root."
All right, sure.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Apart from mild psychedelic effects, like color sort of like starts going on the edge of your vision and enhances your perception, so you all get like +2 to any perception tests for the next hour or so. But only at night.
Ooh.
Yeah. But additionally, you can hear her. And she says...
What route is this, by the way? Because this would be super useful. Never mind. It's fine. We can... After the rot thing. It's fine.
Alright.
Stay out of sight, son, buddy. Stay out of sight. I pull my hood out and just like put him in the back.
So she instructs. She says that Augustus, begrudgingly, and Spear and Sarya could probably work together to make this ritual happen, and that would start to very slowly over time reverse the rot that's in these woods. And if you can help her with that, then she will do what she can to help you. You tell her about the unicorn, and she says that the unicorn's horn, if removed from the bust that is there, can be used to purify people of the rot.
What about the unicorn?
The unicorn, when the rot lifts from the forest, and the unicorn is free of the enchantment that binds it, which you can achieve by removing its horn, where its essence is bound, then the unicorn will in time return to the forest.
Okay, alright, so I'm not feeling as bad about yoinking the horn off unicorn's head.
Sorry.
Spear, Saya, and Augustus. Astrid takes you downstairs and talks to you about the various things that need to be represented. You are told to represent the spirit of the earth. You are told to represent the spirit of the moon. And you are told to represent the spirit of the man, of humans or humanoid spirits. And the three of you form core points around this circle. And she guides you and starts talking in Crow, but nonetheless speaking out symbol and symbology and the language that, while none of you recognize, you're all familiar with. She can do this in animal form because she speaks the animal language, which is the universal language. The language of physicality, the language of positioning, and poignant understanding of all of the planes coming into unison to create this central essence, and draws on the spirits of nature and of the goddess Meliki, who is in the embodiment thereof, to bring the energy back in through the central focus and then radiate it out as if it was the heart of the earth itself into the forest, and you feel that you have all been a part of something good and something righteous, and through that are able to give back to this forest. But as she said, it will be a slow process. She will remain here. She asks you to seal up the trapdoor and disguise it, and to, in fact, just wreck her house even more. And just bury it so it can be undiscovered. And as you guys leave, she does one last spell that allows the forest and the trees around it to grow over the hut itself. Its roots uprooting themselves, tearing through the walls, and making it at one. As this large tree that was particularly close to the hut grows over it to once more bring the heart of the forest as she has created it back into the womb of the forest. And she comes back out and lands in front of you and says, I am tired. It's been a long life. And she sort of shakes off her form, and the crow sort of cracks, and the spirit it sort of starts to decompose and falls to the ground, and her translucent spirit now stands before you. Thank you all for finding me. I am not sure what would have happened if you had not come, but the signs were right, and you did. I'm sorry I don't have much more to give you. I have the healing potions. At least that is something. But perhaps I can give you some form of guidance. And she does a little incantation and places a spell on all of you. You all now have 2 points of inspiration.
Yay!
Can I
Inspired.
possibly ask her a question if she has any inclination to like the possible areas of the source of the original kind of infestation, I guess, because she said she wasn't.
I have not been in the town long, but I know that it lingers around the town square, and in particular in one of the buildings associated with the Great Hall. Look to the source. Look to those who wield the source. There you will find the location of this rot. I feel it goes deeper than even I suspect. I may be healing the symptoms, but the cause, that is for you to solve. My time is gone, and I give my essence to you so that you may shine in yours. May Meliki wash over you. She washes over you herself as she dissipates into energy and becomes at one with the forest, which she had lived in for all of her life, or at least so far as you're aware. And with that, you return to the village. You trudge through the snow. You can all make wisdom perception tests as you return.
18?
Would you sell the +2?
Also an 18.
Oh yeah,
23.
20 if it's possible.
Yeah. That'll last for another hour.
25.
Oh, awesome. It's as if it was outlined in the forest this time, this shadow that's been stalking you since you first came to this area, but now you start to see it. A strange shape. This strange outline of a large wolf animal. A shadow. You see it only at a distance. It stalks you and it keeps its distance. It seems to be perhaps intimidated by the divine essence that's now around you. But it is large. And it is made of shadow and spite. And this wolf has a human face, or at least the semblance thereof.
Makes it all the more disturbing what was happening with the horses.
Yeah.
But it is reluctant to come within striking distance of you.
Can we see what kind of face it has?
I made this just for you guys.
Aww. Ugh. That
Super
thing is
cool.
creepy.
You guys will only get to see it when it's actually on camera. But that is what you see stalking the wilderness. And for reference,
Oh, that's upsetting. That's a little upsetting.
I like the idea that the audience is only going to just see our reactions. That's upsetting.
It could be worse.
eventually you start to see the fires and the lights, the ambient glow of the village as it comes closer. Also, you start to see the faint light of dawn, just filling the lower half of the sky as you return to the town. As you arrive, you start to discern and get close enough to realize that there's the light that glows from the firelights of the various buildings of the town itself. You start to realize that there is another light. You see a line of torches coming down through the forests to the northeast along the road. You remember being on that road yourselves, cresting the hill for the first time, seeing the shadow of Mount Hotno. But this time you're looking from the position of the village, as if you're comfortable, at least you know this place. But you see these two lines coming down. Two lines of torches. You count maybe 10 torches. And you hear the sounds of voices, natural and robust. You see the glint of the light of pieces of metal held high a meter or two above the line. You hear the clatter of wood, armor, and shields.
I hear
As you come into the town.
and the smell of cabbage.
No, you do not hear orcish grunts and the smell of cabbage.
That's a relief.
You come into the town from the true north side, winding through the houses and the vineyard, and you pass onto the main road that leads up to the barn where you've been staying. You make haste to the stables. You catch sight of a few shadowy figures sort of running across the courtyard. One in particular, a green cloak fluttering in the wind. The huntsman, or the last remaining huntsman, is obviously still awake. And you ride up the hill to the square. I'm not sure. What are you doing at this point?
Yeah, we gotta put the
Horses
back first, I reckon.
So we still have.
Oh, another side effect is you realize that all of you are cleansed of the sickness.
No one eat anything.
No, my spores are still there. It's fine.
You know what it means? It means they're the good sport.
That's right. Good spore.
But we still have the twitching.
Yeah, you still got the +2 perception,
No,
and
no,
you still
no.
have the twitching. Well,
But-
what did you
yeah.
do with the twitching corpse?
That was
So
my question.
she healed it.
Okay.
The person, or she instructed you as to how to heal it. She said these herbs, these things, do this ritual spell. Between the 3 or 4, 5. Well, everyone's got some kind of magic. Between all of you were able to figure out a way to she was able to get you to do something. And you discovered that if you cleansed her of the illness with the rot went away. But when the rot went away, all of the components that were holding the body together dissolved and disappeared. And so all that was left were all these cavities, and the organs were replaced by these tubers. When the tubers were gone, they didn't transform just back into normal organs. They were removed entirely, and so the person died. Furthermore,
Aunt Ethel.
She had a name, yeah. It was
Yeah,
Ethel.
it was Ethel.
Ethel's soul was irretrievable. It is not on this plane of existence, said Astrid. It had been taken. and it's possibly why some of the others in the town were still acting as they normally acted in the past, because their souls are in bondage. She said it would take powerful magics. It would have to kill somebody, cleanse them, and then possibly resurrect them in order to get them back into this plane of existence.
But didn't she say something about unicorn horn?
Unicorn horn could do
Jammer
that.
with the unicorn horn?
Yeah.
Poke.
Well, we might be able to
unicorn
get
horn-
Aaron back, right? I'm not so worried about Ethel.
Yeah, no, I do want to get Aaron.
I think it's a bit late for Ethel.
Well, it is now.
However,
died
in the
holy.
present, what is it that you guys would like to do? You see these lines.
Do they seem to be going anywhere in particular?
Coming to or going
They're
from?
coming down the path towards the town.
We brought the corpse back for burial, yes?
Yeah, if you like.
Yeah.
It is withered and mostly just a skeleton.
That's
Even the skeleton itself is like got all of these syphilitic damage.
It's in the burrito.
We don't
Okay,
have
I'll
so-
retighten the burrito.
Oh,
That healing burrito is now several
feel like our
sizes too
chef
large.
should-
Now a
doing that.
concealing burrito.
So horses away first, then maybe
Yep.
break the news to the
Okay.
family.
Yep.
Although, what are the torches coming down? We might watch that as well.
The torches coming down are an immediate and pressing concern.
We should
Yeah.
probably.
But also, there's a hive mind thing that I kind of mentioned with the woodsman and the fact that we killed 4 and there's a 5th
Yeah, they
guy running
probably
away.
want to kill us now.
They probably know, we've got to assume that they potentially know what we've done. And then adding to that, there's also a unicorn horn. So if they know that we're the enemy and we've got to get to the unicorn horn.
I'm
And my returning horses and burying dead people is actually secondary to the real stuff we've got going on.
Probably
Because
want
here's
to
the
keep
thing.
the horses in case we need to skedaddle
Sure.
quickly.
It doesn't matter where you put the body. It's gonna do its thing. Just put it with nature. Let's get the unicorn
I
horn.
think we should let the family decide, but we'll put the body in the barn. We'll get the unicorn horn.
Because I think the unicorn horn will prevent more bodies.
Okay.
So let's
Put the body in the barn. Go get a unicorn horn.
we're gonna. All right.
Also, we don't really want to be lugging a body everywhere we go.
No, that's what I'm saying. Just put Ethel down.
Leave
Ethel's
her in the
gone.
forest.
I will take Ethel to the barn
There is.
as the cleric
The
of the group.
Cooper's house is closer to the barn if you want to drop her off on the way, but that would also mean dealing with the
No,
Coopers.
we're not going to deal with the Coopers at the moment.
Okay.
I'm just
So
going to take
you
Ethel
go
to
to the barn. Okay, so you quickly go. Are you going to separate and someone
Yeah,
go to the barn?
I'll separate.
Okay.
I'm not going. No one's going on their own. I'll go with her to the barn.
Oh, banana.
Okay.
Splitting the party's bad. Splitting it into one is bad.
So Saria and Bernard are going to the barn to drop off the body before coming out, and then the other 4, the rest of you are going to drop off the horses to the stables. Yep.
Well, we'll be heading towards the stables, which is near the headman's house, which is where we need to steal the unicorn horn, so
Yeah.
we can double scouting out the headman's house.
Yeah. I'm going for the unicorn horn.
Alright. So you come in, and so you come up to the back of the stables, and you just sneak in. Give me some stealth rolls, just by the by. If you guys can, either one person can roll with advantage, or everybody can make a roll, and I'll take the average of all your rolls.
Oh, with advantage, probably.
All right.
Should just be better.
Okay.
Ooh. That would be a 20.
Okay, cool. You usher the group of animals in, and you return them to their places. The barn is at this point empty. It's just the 2 stallions. You return them there. And then you sneak out the back of the barn. So just to give you an idea of what's going on here,
Ooh.
that's the Great Hall.
This should be on the mini cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to it next week. It's the kitchen. These are the stables. Town square is here. Your barn where you're staying, which is this guy, is kind of across the town square. And then there are 2 guest houses for the purposes of this demonstration. There was the guest house where you guys were staying, where apparently all those other strange creatures are being kept. It's over there. And then Brett Hold's private quarters, where you guys were last night, is around the far side. You guys have just come in the back here and put the horses in the stable. Come out the back, the torches are coming down the trail into this village from over here. You guys have ducked out the back. Where are you going? And if you guys simultaneously put the horses away, and Saya and Bernard put the body in the barn, and then where are you guys going from there?
To meet up with the rest of the party?
At the stable and then around the back to
Okay,
us.
so you guys come around. Your rendezvous out here. It sounds like these torches are kind of getting closer and closer. From here, where do you go? So this is like the back entrance, just up and in.
Where is the unicorn horn?
It's in the.
It's in here.
Because I can.
And you guys know that it's. So there's in the house here. There's this room, which is the hunting room, where you guys are sitting around, and then 3 other doors, and they're all locked.
Because if I can turn to a bug, get in that hunting room, then yoink that unicorn horn and leave.
Can you yoink it as a bug?
No, but I would yoink it as me, and then rebug. And
But
then I would
couldn't
bug
you
out.
Do you have enough transformation?
I do.
You have like on a short rest, don't you?
I do.
Animal shape's crazy. What's what level you get that? You start with it?
So I think.
1 or 2.
You start. I think you do start with
I'm
it.
pretty
It's
sure you
just
start
not very good, and
Yeah.
then it improves as you go up in levels.
Just turning into Barbie.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you guys meet around the back, and then you are heading where? Over to here? All right. So you walk around. You come around the sort of back of the barn here, also the back of the great hall here, and you hear the noises, like somebody's rousing over here. Sort of like a knocking on the door and a hushed conversation happening inside the building. You guys are just about here, skulking up against there at the moment. And then you hear, just interject if you want to do anything, but then you hear a door open and then a door close and then footsteps coming out and then going up and then into this door, the side there, and then into the Great Hall apparently, and then walking from the back to the front of the Great Hall.
Alright, let's
Let's go.
get that hunting room.
Okay. So this front door hasn't been locked. It was easier than drawing a map. This front door hasn't been locked, so you open it up and you come into this corridor. This door is locked, this door is locked, and well, all of the doors are locked. Just the front door that wasn't locked. They obviously left with some haste and left it open.
No one can lockpick, can they?
Nope. What's it up? We can break the lock, I guess.
Hit the door with my shoulder.
Let me just get under that door, yeah?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Which
Wide.
door would you like to go in?
The
So you
hunting
know
room.
that this is the hunting room.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under the hunting
Okay.
room.
Go into the hunting room door. It's really warm in this house, by the way. Even warmer than it is in the Great Hall.
Infernally warm? I'll take that as a yes.
It's warm. Unnaturally warm. It feels like there's some kind of heating beneath the floors.
Oh dear.
And you sort of put your, sort of, as you turn into a bug, you realize, ooh, it's warmer even down here. It should be warmer up there.
Alright, I will.
Just being regular science.
You
Normal kind of science.
crawl underneath the door and you look around. And yeah, you're in the hunting room.
Can I see the unicorn?
You can see the unicorn.
Can I see anyone else in this room?
There's nobody else in this room.
Is the door like key locked from the inside? Or is it latch locked from the inside? Like, is it? Can I open it from in here, or do I need to unlock it somehow?
You need an investigation roll.
Natural 20.
You see, just because you're a bug, you
Getting
see
up and
that
close.
underneath there's a little the dresser, and underneath the dresser on the floor on the left-hand side, there's like a key just on the ground, like hidden, and like you wouldn't see it if you were up. But because you're on the ground, you do see it.
Get around beside that key and just start.
You dung beetle the key out under the door. You guys are sitting out in the corridor, and then
Wow.
you see a little brass key slipped out from under the door. And then,
His little cockroach is like,
is it a cockroach?
why not?
They would definitely fit under the door then. They're a lot squishier cockroaches.
Yep.
Okay, open the door.
Walking.
Cool. You're in the room. There is, in fact, the unicorn bust right there.
There it is.
You know a bit about this unicorn bust. Is there anything that we need to do before we just yank the horn off?
Not that much that I know about it, except that apparently it's trapping a celestial being.
As I talk to you, do you want to do it?
Okay.
There is now a
I
cockroach.
feel fully prepared for this task.
You go over,
to
grab the horn.
Directly.
I probably go over and have a look and try to connect with my god and maybe do a bit of praying.
Give me a wisdom roll.
Oh, that's no good.
You can add proficiency.
Oh, okay.
That's alright.
Yeah, no, that's fine. 18?
Right. You sit there and you pray, and you realize that there is an enchantment, and your god sends you a message that you need some kind of cleansing spell of any kind to cast upon it.
I think we need to cleanse.
Or dispel magic, cleanse
it
food,
wouldn't be purify food and drink.
Purify.
potentially.
I can do that as a ritual, but it will
That's
take
fine.
10 minutes.
As can Simon. I mean, Gus.
Can you cut? Hey, Bug.
Does anyone have bless?
So is it semantic
Oh, I
or...
Hey guys,
You can't cast
Gordon.
in wild shape.
Saya, do
done,
you have
Gus.
bless?
Not on me.
I-
bless.
I cast Purify Food and Drink.
Alright. So Gus stands up, and you do the appropriate symbols in the air, which I believe is bless this meal, if I don't remember correctly from the last time you did.
Bless this meal. This is good. This is good. This will also be fine. Clear it out.
And you're feeling, Spear, that you have only a brief window because it's only a very weak spell. Now you just need to make a successful strength roll.
Okay, I will make a successful strength roll. Fingers crossed.
Do you
I would
want
like
to...
Hang on, wait. I think I might have seen how this went.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Perfect.
You just rolled 15.
In which case, 18.
You reach up and you know some kind of divine essence is guiding you.
This
As,
is our mission. This is fated.
As you grab it and
Oh, I feel awful.
then this like screaming wind, this sort of like as it breaks off the unicorn's, the skin of the unicorn's face, it breaks into these swirling spores that tear around the room. Everyone takes a point of damage from just the spiteful wind.
We haven't rested it all, have we?
No.
I mean, yeah, short rest.
Is that it? Are you done?
No. Not quite. no, I'm pretty good. I've been healed a little.
Yeah, you had a short rest at the witch's hut.
With a Song of Rest, so take your extra d6 if anyone
Oh,
used.
yeah, I did.
So
So-
you guys take a short rest at the witch's hut, and because Lynn sings Song of Rest, you don't just get the,
I compose a ballad about our valiant fight against the ambushes.
and you get an additional d6.
So your hit dice and then a d6.
Yeah, whatever hit dice you want to
Or
spend,
however many hit dice you want to spend.
plus d6. All right, so you've but now you're holding in your hand a horn, and that horn, for the time being, will be is considered a wand of cleansing.
Right, who's proficient in unicorn horns?
I'm proficient in wands.
You are all, because you are blessed by the unicorn, you are all automatically attuned to this wand.
Blessed by the
It has 10 charges, and if you use the last charge, it will potentially on the D20 roll of 18 or 1 or 2, it will disintegrate and be destroyed. But it will cleanse food and acts. The cleansing ability of the spell acts at a range of 60 feet. It can target an individual and cleanse them of sickness, or it can target food and drink and act as the cleanse food and drink spell. So it has 2 options. It takes 1 charge for the cleanse food and drink, and 1 charge to purify sickness.
So the unicorn though is free, isn't free.
It is free.
It is free. Alright.
It was just the spiteful energies that were binding it in place that are now gone. Based on what Astrid said, you assume that it is free, though nothing has manifest to tell you as much.
Okay.
Okay, so you were still in this hut. That's happened reasonably quickly. It sounds like more people are moving up. Like you hear murmur of talk as people seem to be murmuring and gathering.
Can I hear that scratching in this hut?
No.
I think we need to get over to the guest house.
But you do... investigation, everybody.
We know it's hot below us, right?
It is hot below you.
It's super hot below us, by the way. If you're a bug, you'd understand.
11.
11. Hey, yo.
8. 11.
1.
13.
That's very well there.
Well, you guys are free to make whatever suppositions you like about this situation. But yes, the other 3 doors are locked, and there is
Can I
this sound of murmuring starting
Try
to
the key
coalesce
we
in the
have
town square.
on those doors, just in case.
Sorry?
Can I try the key we have on those doors, just in case?
So the same key unlocks this door. It turns out that this is just one room on the other side. As soon as you open it, like a puff of black spores comes out into the corridor, and you look in and see what appears to be a fungal garden. Once it was a bedroom, but nobody has slept in here for quite some time. There are chests, desks, a bed, all overgrown with at least a layer of spores, if not just that, then fully grown fungal blooms.
Just before we leave the other room, was there anything else of interest or of note?
There are a selection of weapons, various sort of like boar spears and bows, arrows. There's a single arrow like mounted on a plaque of wood. Looks a bit fancy. There's a few fine bows there. There's a couple of rapiers.
Better than my sword?
Can I take...
Not long swords.
But
I've only got a short
rapiers?
sword anyway.
Yeah, there's a couple of rapiers. They look very nice. They are more ornate and beautiful than yours, but no more functional.
Okay.
They're definitely worth more money.
Are there any short swords?
Yes, there are a couple of short swords.
Can I just pick out the fancy arrows?
Should we maybe not ransack? We've already stolen the.
Well, my short sword's not very good or
In
anything.
for a penny, in for a pound.
There are some books on.
Heads
I
up,
wouldn't
sorry.
say we ransacked the
Everyone in this
unicorn
town needs to
horn.
die.
We freed
There's
the
one
unicorn.
book if anyone can read.
Yeah.
So there's one book which is a lexicon of beasts of ye wilds.
I feel like a druid might appreciate that.
It is.
Can I flip to unicorn in that book?
Yes. There's like a big circle with a cross through it in red.
And a little moustache drawn on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
My divine sense senses also consecrated areas. Has that been... I don't know if
Consecrated
you've
areas,
been-
desecrated areas.
Consecrated areas.
Yeah.
Just because I've used it a few times and it detects it within 60 feet and can only be blocked by a foot of
Yeah.
stone. Okay.
So you have used it to sense before,
Mm.
but previously there's been a foot of stone between you and the desecrated area beneath the floor of this building.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And the essence flows strongest from this room.
Okay.
while I'm happy to keep investigating,
So
but
where did we see that pickaxe?
Oh, well, there was one just outside by the woodpile.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go and get the pickaxe.
We need to do what we
I'm gonna
are here
use
to
the
do.
pickaxe to try
which is
and
take the
pick,
unicorn
see
horn.
if
And
can I
get her
stomp
You want to pick
around?
the lock?
wait,
No, I want to stomp
She-
around
has
and
she
see if
been
there's
with
any
them the whole
loose
time?
floorboards or a softer part of
Which probably
the...
should benches at the front of
anything.
the thing.
Yeah, I mean, look,
probably
if you had a
the torches are coming
pickaxe
down,
or
right?
even a regular axe, you could probably
Should've been a guest
pull up
house.
some floorboards
Okay,
and...
should we go check out the
so
guest
can I
house?
get the
Anyway.
pickaxe?
That's way.
Yeah, you go out the back. You poke your head out the back door.
Is that one around?
No, I think you left
Nobody
her at the,
immediately around.
dinner banquet.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the pickaxe.
All right, so you dash across, grab the pickaxe, you turn around to go back, and
I'm gonna try and lever some floorboards up.
so you're turning around to go back,
Mm-hmm.
and you see Mrs. Trot standing there. She's like just holding a bundle of wood, wearing her gown. Where are you going, dearie?
Have you got the unicorn horn?
I'm going to
You all
point the
hear that
unicorn-
voice.
I know, I was
By the
just
way,
thinking
you're
exactly
all
the
just
same thing.
inside,
Can
just
I
like looking
point
around.
The unicorn horn? Can I cast cleanse on her?
Do you have it?
Yes, I'm the one with
She's
it.
the one that pulled her.
All right, so you use one of the charges.
Yes.
And it's like puffs of like puff balls like start exploding from
I'm
her
not gonna
skin,
stop to watch.
and pieces of like black fungus. She reaches out to you as her fingers disintegrate her skeleton, reaching through to get you. Her teeth start falling out of the mouth. Her eyes sink into the skull. She collapses inside of her clothes, falling piece by piece into the snow before you.
Okay.
There's
That
a
is-
strong chance that Erin might be dead.
That's a murder wand.
It is when everything's undead. I'm gonna rush back inside and start trying to lever up some floorboards.
Okay.
You could kidnap her, take her to a temple where they could resurrect her, and then murderize her.
You
I'm hearing about kidnapping.
slam. So where you want to go in the
We've got no
corridor? You
money
want to go in
for
the hunting room?
I
You want to like to smash
we
this
do
door
have
down
money
and
for
have a look at
resurrection.
here?
I think I'll be in the hunting room.
Why don't we
Wherever
go
I
in?
felt like
Why don't we
there
go
were-
in the
there was
bedroom where
softest-
the evil is greatest?
That
I just
corner
remember-
room. Just what
I just would like to put out there: is anyone not concerned? Like, should we really check out what's going on outside? I'm
What's
happy to
happening
not,
outside?
because no one's around here, so I'm happy to do investigating while no one's around. There were a lot of torches that came down that road.
We totally slapped the beehive, and now we're pretending we didn't, and putting
If we've
ourselves
slapped
into a
the
corner.
beehives, then we should probably kill the queen. So I'm gonna try and find whatever's under this floor that's creating all of these hellish hounds and perhaps helping to.
That's not
make
killing
this-
the queen. That's looking for a queen.
Yes,
But we can't kill the queen until we find the queen.
good point.
All right, so hack. You're having this conversation while Spear is like smash. But in what room are you doing this? Is what I want to know.
So I
So
thought.
you've unlocked this door. It's one big room on this side. You've unlocked this door into the hunting room, and there's this door you haven't opened.
Smash that
But
door.
the
We can
key
smash the door
didn't
pretty
work on
easily.
that one.
The key did not work on that one.
Well, no. At this point, Spear is predetermined to just figure stuff out. So I'm in the big room,
The big room, yes.
and I'll be trying to
Can't
lever
we
up
just-
some floorboards. You can go and find out what's in that other room if you would like.
Can I try Eldritch blasting the lock? See if that damages and breaks enough
Yeah.
for the door.
Quick roll. This is just an attack roll with advantage against the door.
Alright, Commando. Don't be difficult. Oh, wow.
A 1 and
And
a
a
1.
Ooh. It's like bounces off it, hits your knee, and does like 1 point of damage.
I'm
Son of
gonna-
a bitch, that
I'm
door!
just gonna take my finger, put it in the lock, and just fill it with necrotizing spores, and just start rotting the lock.
You can't
Okay.
necro inanimate objects.
As long as it's in my 10-foot space, you can just start degrading that stuff.
Yep. It's just degrading metal is going to take a
Really long
long
time.
Long time.
Yeah.
You maybe degrade the wood
The wood?
around the lock.
Just like the wood that's holding the. So I
Uh-huh.
can just kick the door, and
It's treated wood. Yes, somebody's still going to have to hit it with something hard and heavy.
I will attempt to hit it with my hard shillelagh. By
Just make an
rolling-
attack with an advantage.
Hit it with something.
Cast shillelagh on the door,
That's good.
and then slam it.
That is 10 damage.
All right. It's gonna need one more, at least solid smack.
That is 14 damage.
Smash breaks open. The same time as you've like cracked open the floor, tear up, and you're looking down into both of you. You look through the door and you see there's a set of stone stairs going straight down into a room, which you're now peeling up the floorboards and looking down into. It seems to be stone floor, stone walls. It's a small room, but it radiates an unnatural glow. And the walls and floor and ceiling, apart from the floor and a small path going through the center, seem to be covered with this kind of undulating, fleshy surface. A faint murmur can be heard amongst the layers. From below and through from the doorway comes a gust of hot air, dry. Sucks the moisture from your mouth.
What's the biggest area I can cleanse?
It's objects. You have to target
Damn it.
something.
Target the fleshy.
It's literally two spells. There's like cleanse, cure disease, and purify. Cleanse, purify food and drink.
Let,
That's not gonna be helpful then.
this looks terrifying.
It's not good.
I have no magic left in me.
I have no magic.
I've got a tiny bit of magic, but I don't know how to use it.
I'm very happy to go through this. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's where we need to go. I feel like we definitely need to be here and deal with this. But I'm a little worried that something very big and bad might be under there.
So what can we see? There's a small path leading through a room that's covered in undulating...
The room's about the same size as the building above it.
Mhm.
It's like the foundations of this building just go down into
Yeah.
this room. And yeah, it's just covered with this undulating surface of sort of fleshy consistency.
And there's what about? And there's a path down the middle.
There's a path down the middle that leads through to another doorway that goes off
Okay.
and seems to descend further.
I think we found the beginning of a dungeon.
Can I just say I've taken a longbow and some of the arrows?
Of course, anything I've described, you're welcome to take. Did anyone take the arrow?
I did.
Okay, write it in your inventory. One special arrow. You don't know what it does.
Okay. So...
I have one now.
So I'm feeling that the group is hesitating on entering this area.
I don't think we're going to get a
Because none
proper
of us-
rest in before.
Is your do you still have a detection spell up at the moment?
I can do one more divine sense.
I was just wondering if you still had one up from previously. Did you
Usually
do?
divine sense only lasts for a little while,
It's
unless
like a
I
ping,
use.
like it just pings out once.
Okay,
Or
right,
I
right.
actually do have the spell detect evil, but then I'd have to spend my final
A spell slot.
slot.
Yeah,
So I can use my final divine sense.
up to you guys.
You know what? There's a few problems outside that we might need to deal with, but this is definitely an issue that's not going anywhere. And
I have a sense the only way through is forward.
yeah, we're not gonna head back to the barn for a nap. Is all I'm saying. And while I'm saying this, I'm just like picking up the brass key and I'm just walking over to the door, the front door, and just like I just really think that we need to go down that hole and fix this problem.
You just look us in.
Yeah.
That doesn't lock the front door.
I just stuck the key in the
You
lock.
just pretended.
And
Hey, hold on. Can we perception that shit?
Yeah, you're welcome to. I don't know if he's hiding it.
it's a bad fake. I'm like, click, click. We're going down that hole.
Okay,
And
I'm
we're
gonna
fixing
use
this
my
problem.
final spell slot to cast Detect Good, Even Good, which means it lasts for 10 minutes.
Yep. All right, so it's in downstairs. It's infernal. There's so what's the range?
It is 30 feet.
Okay.
But it can be blocked by a foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 foot of water dirt.
So whatever the covering is of the walls and ceiling, it's some kind of infernal presence, and it is sentient.
Okay.
It is dormant, but it is sentient.
Jam a unicorn on it.
The room can think and breathe.
It's not the whole room, it's something on the surface of the
things
walls.
that are on the surface. It doesn't know we're here yet, though.
That's good.
It's very good, I believe.
So, what do we do?
Where do we
What
put the
I
bonfire?
would like to seek some kind of guidance.
Guidance. Would you like some guidance? I keep not using guidance. I cast guidance.
How much does that do?
So you get to +4 on your next roll essentially.
Plus
Great.
D4.
Do 1d4. Sorry.
What are you
What
going to
am I
do on your
roll
next
for?
roll?
Who even knows?
Skill roll.
Pray to your god and ask for an idea.
Arcana.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
What is this thing? What is this place?
Does anyone here have a particularly good sense of Arcana?
I do.
Magic is not
Ask the
mine.
wizard.
The wizard.
Guidance.
What do you need to know?
We need you
I
to
believe
have
in
a
you so much,
sense of
Bernard.
what this creature can do.
Can you tell us any more about this film or where we're going?
Nice.
19 plus my Arcana, which might be 2 or 4, so we're at 21.
Alright. You haven't ever encountered them before, but you've certainly read books. And this looks like one of those places where the borders between planes starts to blur.
Pretty
And
many a certain way.
somewhere down there, if not immediately, is a highway to hell. And those creatures that form the surface, you realize that it's not just one creature, it's many creatures. They're called Lemirs, and they often occupy these gateways as guardians. They are immobile, but they reach out from their locations with hands and desperate mouths, yawning to fill the vacuous nature of their empty souls with that of living essence.
Wait, guys, I know what this is. And I turn around and I walk out.
If I see Bernard walk out, I am going straight up after.
You walk up to the door, I'm like, you can't. It's locked. We need to fix the problem.
That problem there is, there's a name for that problem just there, and it's called Infernus. Or, hell. Like it's a whole plane.
I mean, can't we just stand at the top of the stairs and shoot down?
As bad as things are here right now and around us, I'm not sure they're going to get any better down the hole.
But they're also not going to get better up here if we don't go down.
I'd feel better standing behind a paladin if we're going to hell.
So what you're saying is you need to get behind me. Okay.
And yeah, you walk down that hole because what you're doing is you're achieving the paladin dream. Right
So
now,
my-
you're going to hell and we're going to slay demons. I'm going to watch you and you're going to be awesome. You're going to take that two-handed unicorn on and you got your lucky halfling at your back.
I'm gonna write it down.
I feel like, we know that destiny has brought us to this spot. I have been told about this rot. So have you.
Destiny's a
You've
funny.
been on it too.
Destiny's a funny thing, and every now and again, and also Destiny doesn't have to be rushed. We don't have to rush Destiny. If it's Destiny, we will arrive when we need to.
And it seems like we have now.
We've arrived while tired and out of spells. I'm excited. If you're charging in there, I'll be right at your side, and I am very excited
I
to
have
take
this
on
feeling that the, hive mind isn't going to let us hang out in its town to recover at this point. So what you're saying is that these things...
We should have had a nap.
So
at the
if we walk
forest.
down that path, is the thing going to hurt us? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah, that's like it looks like meat, but it's really kind of just like an amalgam of little demonic entities that are just going to blobbishly try and screw us up to stop us from getting through the
Okay, I'm
portal
gonna
to hell,
start.
One
Okay,
day.
so I'm probably near the steps
Can I
by this
just,
point
like,
with these guys. I'm going to start
outreach
walking down the
fast?
steps.
You see one of them sort of grow a face and a couple of hands, and then scream and recoil, and now there's like a small patch of
I keep doing
non-things.
Wait,
on the
what?
ground.
Blast, 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 blast!
She stands at the top of the stairs and just like starts blasting them. She starts like clearing various patches. After a while, you see them start to slowly kind of grow back, but they can't grow back as fast as she's blasting away.
I'm gonna start moving down. Cover me.
Okay.
All right.
Blast a path!
You blast a path. You sort of get past. They sort of like as you go in, they all start sort of reaching out, 100 hands, just like stretching out
Staying
from
right
the
in the middle of
walls.
that path.
But you're
I
staying
assume
right
it's
in the
there
middle of
for
the
a reason.
path, and you blast it around, and you're able to sort of move through. It leads to a long corridor.
I've still got detect good and evil. Do I have
It doesn't seem like there's anything. It's a long corridor. It's not. You still have it on. You can
Guys!
keep walking down the corridor.
I'm
There's a
coming.
corridor down here,
I'm coming.
and
Hang
I
on.
can't see anything that seems particularly.
Interesting?
Interesting, really. I mean, it's just a corridor. I mean, I thought it was the mouth of hell, and I thought I was gonna save the world, but
Hell is boredom.
Corridor.
Hell is
I-
boredom.
I'm
I'm down
going
next
to
to him. Like, alright, let's
cast
go have a check.
Word
shall
of
we?
Radiance as an essence comes out from me 5 feet, and I just like walk with my buddies and my Word of Radiance, and I just keep casting it
All right.
as we walk down this corridor.
Yeah. Walk down the corridor.
Radiant damage, area effect, or what?
Yeah, it's a 5. Any target within 5 feet like area. So
Around you.
yeah,
Oh, you're a radiance bubble.
yeah. Burning radiance erupts from you.
You know how I said I was standing next to the paladin?
You were, but you still were.
at some point you're just gonna be sandwiched between the cleric and the paladin.
All right. You guys move through, and you move through. You do Word of Radiance, and these things they can't grow back. Like Noriko just laid a hellish rebuke upon all of these people, just blasting them down, and it destroyed a whole area. It spent a good minute and a half, and that has cleared the way for you guys to move through. Your radiance just helps it along, and you all sort of move through, and now you find yourself in a long stone corridor. I'm assuming you continue down this long stone corridor.
Yep.
As you do go down the long stone corridor, the air stops being dry and then starts to become heavier, thicker. Smells of fungus, spores in
Bad
the
smell.
air. And you start to hear these sounds. And you echoing through, you now see an iridescent green light coming from the end of this stone corridor, rough hewn, as if just out of the mountain itself. And you are about 30 feet away, and you start to see that it opens up into this luminescent chamber, large and green, in which you can hear this humming noises. Deep humming noises.
Green light, eh?
I feel like Druid's in the best position to understand anything that's happening right now.
One moment. I'm like, I just lean back and the eyes go back in the head, and body goes.
Okay. You come into a room. It's large and vaulted, maybe 100 feet tall, impossibly large for how deep it is beneath the ground at this point. Broad, maybe the same distance, a bit less. Various stones, large stones from what appears to be the old dwarven underground infrastructure, just have fallen from the ceiling wherever, and they just stand up here and there around this huge chasm, whose floor is now rolling sea of just moss and fungus. And again, this sound seems to be coming from higher, almost 200 feet across this vaulted chamber is another door, larger, maybe 20 feet across. Can't see much beyond that, except a radiant orange light comes from deeper. You're just flying around. You want to So you can see, it seems like the chasm, it just vaulted up and it gets darker and darker as it goes up. You see like vine, like fungal restrictions of vine-like protrusions coming down from the ceiling.
I'll float up a little further, see if I can get a...
Give me a perception test for Buddy.
Take his dark vision out to 120 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a perception of 8. He's not the most perceptive little sprout.
No. What's his armor class?
It's big. It's going to be hard to hit. Best not to roll. Well, I'll just bring it back.
Is it double digits?
It is.
Oh.
It's a 10.
Alright, he is, however, small. You get up and you start floating up higher and higher. You can make a stealth check for your little guy. Try and remain unseen behind the vine.
19.
Yep. And you also this large this large insect floating, like kind of part mosquito, part person, covered in like weeping sores and black chitinous plates. The eyes, 3 eyes, just looking around. Seems to be aware that something's there. A large proboscis comes out of its nose. What you see is essentially this.
And that's to scale?
That's not to scale. Sure.
That is to scale.
Size
And
of
you
a
don't
house.
think that's the only one.
We are not fighting those.
Wait till he
Yes.
passes, and then
Mhm.
Buddy comes back down.
Slowly just off into the network of vines and entanglements.
I'm off.
So you remember how I said hell is boredom? It's also bugs the size of houses.
It's fear as well, huh?
Bugs.
I would love this place, want to come back. I would rather have some healing spells on me.
Yeah, but the door's locked.
I'd rather have some healing spells on me.
Well,
Yeah,
everyone's
we have
got
healing
everyone's
potions.
got a
6
healing
healing
potion.
pots.
Yeah, we got healing potions.
I got them.
That
You're
doesn't-
redundant now.
Great, then you don't need me and I'll go.
We just need you to swing pieces of metal at the enemy, right? Our healing is covered.
I just
So the size of a house. A bug.
a size of a hovel, maybe.
A
Hovel
bug.
or a shed, perhaps?
Definitely, you could not fit it in a shed.
Could not. Bigger than a shed,
Smaller than a house.
smaller than a house, potentially hovel.
Potentially hovel size. More than one. I
More
would say
than one.
maybe a minor hamlet.
Can I just suggest that
hovels.
perhaps whatever's happening down here in this buggy hell has been going on for more than half an hour? But whatever's happening upstairs has been going on for less than half an hour.
So, do you want us to invest more time in the more than half an hour? Is that how you're trying
I'm just
to break
saying
it
that
down?
this problem right here will be here when we get
Oh,
back
I think-
from
I
solving
think that's a
what's
great-
happening up there.
Bernard gets it. Come on, we'll go. I'll take you in my little
I'm
holy
just thinking
bubble.
like this is on the to-do list.
Yeah.
You're with me, right?
Definitely on the to-do list.
But we don't need to do now.
No, it's a to-do later.
We should get errands.
We should get.
Run that unicorn horn
yeah.
over her, see if she dies or whatever.
Yeah.
Keep the bits, resurrect with the box of money.
Didn't Astrid tell us to go to the source?
Also,
I wasn't
Yeah,
paying attention. You're
but
the only
the
one who could
source-
understand her, buddy. I don't know what you're making up here.
The source
So-
is around.
what's the possibilities of what happens if we go upstairs? Who's up there?
We
The
don't know.
entire town of undead people who are somehow connected to the hive mind down here.
Well, they were
Who
coming from
will
northeast, right? So possibly
Either try to kill
Strachan's-
us, or try and brainwash us, or trying to turn us into one of them.
Mhm.
But we don't know. That's the town. We don't know who's come into the town though.
So we're actually probably safer down here.
Well, no. With the mosquitoes the size of houses?
You hear
A hovel.
cry coming from, like, distantly from up the corridor. It's like, hey guys! It's Lynn. Some kind of commotion in the Great Hall.
Alright, let's go to the Great Hall. If there's a commotion now...
It's true.
I start
And
running
the only way out is with this
towards
key.
the Great Hall.
Whoops! I toss it towards one of the lemures.
Mage
Oh,
turn the shit out of the
There's like this little conflict between a half destroyed by Eldritch Blast Lemure and your feeble mage hand. You get it back.
Let's get out of here.
Okay, so we're all running back upstairs to find out what's happening in the Great Hall.
Yep.
Can we try and be somewhat stealthy? Not me so much because I'm in the armor, but...
We'll do some peeking around doors.
Alright. So you guys come back up. The lemures are still kind of growing back. The ones that sort of are not quite fully formed to try and grab at you. Just give them a little kick and they blast away back
I
through.
put a shillelagh in if one gets too close.
You come back up the stairs and up into this corridor, and you come out, and you, in fact, Lynn's like, I'm not sure what's going on up here, but it's definitely not civil.
Is it a giant bug?
No.
Good.
I think that, in my experience, I believe that there is another wheel at play in this village now. I don't know if you guys want to see what's going on or not.
I think we should. I will stroll out the locked door.
You try and use the key, it doesn't
No,
work. You're still locked in.
I hold the key high as I open it.
Can we check if anyone's outside before we leave?
So you open the door of this, and you sort of like see somebody's like runs out. Like you see a couple of the trots, like they did run out of the Great Hall. They look up and look at you guys and seem really distracted, and they're like, and then they run into the kitchen, and they start like clattering, freaking. Like the kitchen is like a frenzy right now.
Maybe
It's like
it's the
people's like,
Lord.
quick, pass this.
Maybe it's the Lord back from the front.
Except that the Lord didn't go to the front.
Probably Strachan.
I don't know. But
You
I kind of
hear
want to set a
shouting.
bonfire in the door of the
You over here! You hear among the din a familiar voice above all others.
It's not the White Hawks, is it?
You want to check?
Do I want to check?
How are you gonna? There's some kind of commotion going on inside the main hall right now.
Yeah, I halfling my way up to the peer around the corner and look for those.
You look inside the back door, the back side door of the hall, or you want to go in through the kitchen?
I'm going through the back. I'm looking through the back side door of the hall.
You peek into the hall, open it a crack. Inside, you see a scene of reasonable devastation. 20 mercenaries, among which stands Dretch Faulkner, leader of the White Hawks. Their banner now displayed above the seats at the far end of the hall. Orders are being barked to all the various townspeople. Ivan is pandering, currently on his knees, to Dretch. Dretch is wearing his coat and his jewels, and kicking him around and telling him what to do. He's saying, "Food, more food, bring the wine." You see from the other side door, from the door from the kitchen that goes into the main hall, plates of food are being brought out, laid on the tables. The mercenaries are manhandling and pushing around all the various servants and anyone who came within their grasp. They seem to have secured, you see like the front doors are open, the fires are both blazing in the great hall, and various mercenaries are just standing around keeping an eye out the windows, laughing and doing what they will with the townsfolk. And
Pull my head back and go, we should go back the other way, like down the corridor.
I keep my
I'm
hand
changing
on
my
his
mind
back
again.
and push him a bit further into the door.
And that's where we're going to leave the game.
Woo! We found the mouth to hell.
Thank you for watching the latest installment of Tabletop Dynasties, The Platinum Mask. Stay tuned for future installments of this exciting story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding the bell button to stay abreast of all future installments of The Platinum Mask. Only on Tabletop Dynasties.